asleep in the driver's seat. I've been lost in my head for weeks, trying to find what it is I need. Too goddamn tired to sleep. And then there are other times I'm so aware that I lose my mind and never feel like I get enough. So high that I can't stand up. Build a fire and can't stay warm. The only secret to make it through is to take what's in front of you. The fear of death and the thrill of speed, and all the lights in front of me. Drive till the coast is clear, faster till it disappears. I've been lost in my head for weeks, trying to find what it is I need. Too goddamn tired to sleep. A forest fire from some careless spark, but when we embers burning in your mama's car, taking off our masks. There were angels in the canyons, but the fire moved too fast. For a second we were infinite, but I mistook the glow. Suddenly the roar, now suddenly the undertow. And the keys to your apartment in a charming maze.
Well, greetings. Hello. Welcome to the stream. It is I, Shucky. I hope you are doing well. Welcome to what I would like to call Shucky's Vacation. You guys have fun to be a nice vacation from the vastness of space. There's sun, there's surf, and there's martinis as far as the eye can see. Hello, Muhammad. Hello, Anne. Hello, Chico. How are you?
You just needed someone to walk you home. There was a magic show.
This is the Shucky Vacation, if you will. Yes, yes.
And your soul stretched farther.
So here is how today's shenanigans are going to unfold. You guys have requested that I visit several places on my vacational trip, and it'll be up to you to get me there. So, with your support, oh well, thank you for those shitty bits, and much appreciated. I'll put those in the nice Shucky bank for you. So here's how things are going to be working today. With your support, I'll be able to visit a multitude of locations that we have in our vacation bag. So, for one Shucky sub, I will spin the wheel and I will visit a new location in our many Shucky locations as far as the eye can see. Or you could add a location to our many locations if you wish. Should you redeem? So let me pull up the old wheel of spinning, and we shall decide where our first location shall be. Okie dokie. I just need to add some more locations to the list while I'm at it.
Thank you so much. We were up in the mountains recently. This was a little bit hard.
A forest fire from some careless spark. But weren't we embers burning in your mama's car?
Okay, here is our current list of places that the Shucky vacation can go.
Taking off our masks. There were angels in the canyons, but the fire moved too fast. For a second we
Behold.
were infinite, but I mistook the glow. Suddenly the roar, now suddenly the undertow. And the keys to your
Behold, friends, these are the Shucky locations. And you will get to decide where we go. So, here's our first spin.
Just needed someone to walk you home. Just needed someone to walk
Oh, so our first trip today is in the realm of Yu-Gi-Oh! I've heard many similarities to where Shucky usually resides, except there are a lot of cards. So, I was enjoying my nice martini, but I guess it's time to go.
Just needed someone to walk you home. There was a shore, and the world began.
I've heard of this place.
And you saw
Many a person have told me what this place is. It is known as the Duelist Kingdom. There are many tales of people who came and lost here.
But now it's lost. For a moment we were weightless, taking
Never did I ever expect to ever reach this height of pinnacle.
For a second we were infinite, but I mistook the glow. Suddenly the roar, now suddenly the undertow.
Let us see what fancy things they have to tell me. Well, hello then. Welcome to the Shucky vacation. I hope that you are doing well. Let me explain to you how things work today. Shucky is going on a vacation, and with every sub, you will get to send me to a new anime location. Whether it's on our list, or you could add a suggestion to the list, and we shall spin, and then we shall take off and experience the world that exists in... So now it is time for Shucky to learn things. So it's time for Shucky to learn.
First episode of Bluesky. Oh boy. I remember watching this live on television back in 2001, and when the intro aired, it was the most spectacular opening that I had ever seen. Now, I haven't watched the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Since then, so it's been like, what, 20...
Well, nope, that's not the right one. I need something a little bit better than that. Here we go.
Welcome back to my channel. Today, we are going to talk about the most goated version of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters was the second series in the Yu-Gi-Oh! franchise. The Duel Monsters in the name would become...
Today, Shucky will learn the many
We'll get into
animes.
the history about the show a little later. But before we get any further, make sure to subscribe to this channel and don't forget to hit that bell notification.
But if you would like to send Shucky somewhere else, you know what you have to do. If you think Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't the best world for a vacation, you know.
Known as Yami Yugi. The two souls now inhabit the body of Yugi Moto. One afternoon, Yugi defeats his friend Joey Wheeler in a Duel Monsters card match at school. Afterwards, he invites his friends Joey, Taya, and Tristan to his grandpa's card shop to see his grandpa's rare card, the Blue Eyes White Dragon. However, Seto Kaiba, overhearing the conversation, kidnaps grandpa and forces him to duel for the prize card. Yugi and his friends arrive too late and witness Seto Kaiba destroying the Blue Eyes White Dragon card. Enraged, Yugi challenges Kaiba to a duel. Possessed by Yami, Yugi defeats him using the legendary 5 pieces of Exodia, the Forbidden One, taking Kaiba's title as the Duel Monsters World Champion. Shortly after, Maximilian Pegasus, president of the company Industrial Illusions and creator of the game of Duel Monsters, invites Yugi.
Oh, before Shucky forgets, we have to give a lovely Shucky hug to an honorary Shuckle himself, the Vinsanity of Puma. Welcome! Welcome, Vin and Gridley, one and all, to the Shucky vacation.
Oh, I'm not walking. You walk. You walk to the radio station.
Also, another shout out to the honorary Shuckle himself, the Gwidley.
Like a GTA scene? Exactly. Exactly. Oh, it'd be so good.
Thanks. You're welcome, but to explain what is going on here, Shucky is being sent on an anime vacation. And you guys, with your support, can decide where I go, and we learn about animes. And you know what? Just to make things just a little bit more funnier, we'll learn about animes at 2 times the Shucky speed. That is, if you can handle all that speed.
To participate in his Duelist Kingdom tournament, engaging Yugi in a quick match, and stealing his grandpa's soul using his own Millennium item, the Millennium Eye, as punishment for Yugi's defeat. To rescue Grandpa, Yugi enters the Duelist Kingdom tournament. Throughout the competition, Yugi faces various opponents, including Weevil, that ugly bug-eyed bitch who throws Yugi's 5 pieces of Exodia in the ocean. If this was real life, I'm throwing hands with that. Yugi wins several duels, reunites with Kaiba.
The bug-eyed bitch. Whoa, bug Pokemon are fine. Even Yugi.
Including his grandpa, Kaiba, and Mokuba, Kaiba's little brother. Yugi and the gang's classmate Bakura is then revealed to be in possession of the Millennium Ring, and is possessed by Yami Bakura, aka the Bandit King. Yami Bakura challenges a recently defeated Pegasus to a duel, beats him, and takes his Millennium Eye as punishment. Pegasus was a simp. This man traveled the world, kidnapped a little boy and a senior citizen, and used ancient Egyptian magic, and for what? All to bring back his bitch from beyond the grave. Stop it, Pegasus. Yugi is then met by none other than the man himself.
This sounds like a TC. Delightful.
The other, Yugimoto, who is now responsible for protecting the fate of the world against the evil Shadow Games. Leading us to the next arc, Rebecca. After this encounter with Shoddy, Yugi brings his recovering grandfather home, and runs into a young girl named Rebecca, who accuses his grandpa of stealing her grandfather's Blue Eyes White Dragon. Yugi duels Rebecca at Kaiba Land to teach her a lesson about the heart of the cards. The duel mirrors their grandfather's past match, and Yugi decides to surrender so he can teach her an important lesson. Ultimately, Rebecca learns and apologizes, and receiving the Ties of Friendship card from Yugi, leading us to the first filler arc, Legendary Heroes. In this arc, Yugi and friends help Mokuba rescue Kaiba, who's trapped in a virtual world. They engage in battles, solve puzzles, and defeat the Big Five, a group of 5 corporate executives that used to work for Kaiba's dad, using Yami Yugi's Dragon Master Knight.
I'm learning so much about Yu-Gi-Oh! In just so little speed.
There are so many fillers in the show. Dungeon Dice Monsters. A new game shop called the Black Clown has Yugi's grandpa worried about his own store's competition. Yugi and friends encounter the new game shop, receiving a flyer.
It's delightful.
Joey then decides to challenge the owner of the shop, Duke Devlin, but loses. Yugi then intervenes when Duke humiliates Joey, challenging him to a Dungeon Dice Monsters match. Despite Duke's advantage and resentment toward Yugi over Pegasus' disappearance, Yami Yugi's skill leads to victory, and post-duel, Duke opens up, feeling defeated. But Yugi and friends praise his new game, and Duke apologizes and they agree to be friends, rekindling Duke's hope for his game's success. Number 5, Battle City Arc. Yugi replaces the Millennium Puzzle rope with a chain and discusses his feelings for Taya with Yami Yugi. They encounter Bandit Keith, who's possessed by an ominous duelist named Merrick, who steals the Millennium Puzzle. Yugi and Keith duel, and Merrick, controlling Keith, smashes the puzzle in fire. Yugi's friends then save it, and Yugi is able to rebuild the puzzle. Yami Yugi then reveals he's suffering from memory loss and suspects that all of this has something to do with the Millennium items. Yugi then attempts to restore Yami's memories.
The greatest arc known to world, the Shuckle City Finals.
And 2 of the Millennium items, the Millennium Rod,
You had to be there.
were passed on to Ishizu and her brother Merrick.
I was just a wee Shuckle when this started. Good times.
Egyptian god cards. Ishizu gave one of the Egyptian god cards, Obelisk the Tormentor, to Kaiba in exchange for starting a Duel Monsters tournament in order to find the remaining god cards. Preparing for the Battle City tournament, Yugi reconstructs his deck and duels against Merrick's gang of Rare Hunters. Merrick eventually uses Joey to duel Yugi, chaining them both to an anchor, but Yugi frees Joey from Merrick's mind control. Yugi then defeats 2 more of Merrick's Rare Hunters, one of which leads him to acquire the Egyptian god card, Slifer the Sky Dragon. Meanwhile, Bakura, possessed by the Millennium Ring, is running amok in the background throughout the tournament. Yugi and Yami Bakura then duel, leading to Bakura's defeat. After Bakura's defeat, Shoddy reappears to warn Yugi about the Egyptian god cards and Merrick. Ishizu then grants Yugi the Millennium Necklace to recover Yami's memories. Amidst this chaos, Bakura manages to escape.
Also,
Going to duel Merrick, which wasn't a very
for all you Shuckies out there that may not know this fact, that's been unlocked from my many Shuckle memories as time seems to go on. The duelists that Bakura dueled, these guys here, one of them is Bones, if the Shucky memory serves correct. Essentially, from what it turns out, they died after dueling Bakura, because they're never seen or heard from again. They've just essentially been wiped from existence. You know, a kid's card game. I thought this was a nice place to vacation, but there's murder. But hello, Zach. It is I, the Shucky. Welcome to Shucky's Vacation, where with your support you can send me to many an anime world. And hopefully we can find a new vacation home. And of course a shout out to an honorary Shucky themselves, a Zek. A Zek Platinum.
Ta-da!
Delightful. Delightful.
in the background throughout the tournament. Yugi and Yami Bakura then duel, leading to Bakura's defeat. After Bakura's defeat, Shoddy reappears to warn Yugi about the Egyptian god cards and Merrick. Ishizu City tournament is on. The Battle City blimp is hijacked by Noah Kaiba. Noah is the original heir to the Kaiba Corporation throne and the older brother of Seto and Mokuba. 6 years prior, when Noah was 12 years old, he was involved in a car accident which left him in critical condition. In the hopes of saving his son, Seto and Mokuba's dad uploaded Noah's mind onto a supercomputer just before Seto was adopted. Noah, now looking to take his revenge on Seto, kidnaps him and the others, hoping to take one of their bodies hostage, preferably Seto's. With the help of the Big Five and his father, Noah locks Seto and the others in his virtual world and duels them for their bodies. However, Yugi and Yami are able to defeat Noah using Kaiba's blue-eyed white dragons. As the virtual world collapses, Yugi and Seto leap off a building, awakening in the real world before impact. The group then reunites, evacuating the fortress.
Can Shucky explain?
The Battle City final guard. After entering the duel.
Hold on. Can Shucky explain sucky lore? Delightful. Delightful. Of course I can explain things to you, Gwydly. That fates the guy. Allow me to explain. Oh, my little Shuckle heart had a good laugh at that. Oh. Oh, delightful. See, while there could only be one Shuckle, which is me, Shucky, you can be an honorary Shucky, if you wish. Which will get you a cool badge, a nice hat, and an entrance to our club. We have fancy drinks there. Just Gridley, you are delightful. Gonna go. This is why we need you here. You are delightful. We would never abandon an honorary Shucky in need. Never, never. But to answer your actual question, I came into existence a many a light years ago, when the great god of Pokemon, Arceus, spawned me from a shell as an entity. It was then that I came across my great teacher, Koro-sensei, a real tentacle of a man. He taught me the ways of the shell, and such I came into existence to find my own. And thus, here I am. Have a good meeting, Anne. We shall be here if you decide to return. Oh, and you have not seen... You do not know of the great Koro-sensei. But hopefully soon today, you will. That is if we get to visit them today. That'll be up to you all, where our vacation goes. Alright, let's quickly finish our Yu-Gi-Oh lesson for the day and head off to a new world, because this place is just dangerous. This is just dangerous.
Tower Island, where the Battle City finals will take place. Joey faces Merrick in a battle royale duel to determine who will advance to the next round of the tournament. Merrick defeats him using the Egyptian god card, the Winged Dragon of Ra, almost
Good time.
defeating Joey and putting him in
Good
a
night,
and
Zach.
and wins, acquiring Kaiba's god card, Aulus the Tormentor. The final match with Merrick begins. Yugi decides to work alongside Yami Yugi, despite the risk of losing his own soul. Attempting not to harm the good Merrick within Yami Merrick, Yugi is able to push Merrick into a corner, causing Yami Merrick to surrender. Yugi's victory is secured, and he receives the Winged Dragon
He
of
needs-
Merrick, who reveals the hieroglyphics on his back.
Zach, that would be 7 p.m. Yeehaw time, or 7 p.m. Shuckle time, if that helps.
Yugi and Yami Yugi prepare to deck with Joey's Red Eyes Black Dragon, and at dawn, they met Joey at a plaza for a final duel, marking the conclusion of their Battle City journey. Number 8, Waking the Dragons. In this filler arc, in the aftermath of the Battle City tournament, Yami and Yugi head to the museum to recover his lost memories using the Egyptian god cards, but a dark force stops them. Suddenly, duel monsters start attacking civilians around the city, despite Kaiba shutting down the holographic dueling system his company created, and the god cards are stolen from Yugi's grandfather by a group of bikers. The group catches up to the thieves, where they encounter Garimo, the duelist collecting souls using the card, the Seal of Orichalcos, who was able to summon Aulus the Tormentor despite not being in control of any Millennium items. After defeating Garimo, Yugi and his friends meet with Rebecca Hawkins' grandfather. He tells them that Yami is an ancient Egyptian pharaoh that saved the world from evil sorcerers who used real monsters by sealing those monsters inside of tablets. More importantly, duel monsters dates back further than Egypt, all the way back to the kingdom of Atlantis 10,000 years ago. It turns out that the group responsible for the theft of the god cards is Doma, who is led by Darts, the king of Atlantis, who wants to use the god cards to awaken the great Leviathan. After being transported to another dimension, Yugi, Kaiba, and Joey are then entrusted with the 3 legendary dragons, Timaeus, Critias, and Hermos, to defeat Darts and the great Leviathan. Eventually, Yugi loses his soul to the Seal of Orichalcos, leaving Yami to challenge Darts to a duel, saving them from Darts and the great Leviathan. Bringing us to another filler. Back-to-back fillers, hooray! Number 9, KC Grand Championship. Kaiba hosts a new tournament, the KC1 Grand Prix, where the winner gets to duel Yugi for the World Duel Monsters Championship title. During the event, a hacker traps all of the contestants in the electronic stadium, setting the CPU difficulty to maximum. Yugi transforms into Yami to defeat the CPU and free everyone. As the tournament progresses, Kaiba discovers one of the contestants, Siegfried Lloyd, is actually his childhood rival, Siegfried von Schroeder. Siegfried was behind the hacking and gets disqualified by Kaiba before the finals, where he is about to duel against Leon Wilson. Siegfried then says Kaiba is doing this because he fears his power, and Kaiba makes a deal with him that if he beats him in a duel, he'll stay in the tournament, but if Kaiba wins, he'll be disqualified. During the duel, Siegfried reveals his wishes to take over Kaiba Corp's dealings with Pegasus' company, Industrial Illusions, but despite his best efforts, loses to Kaiba. Leon Wilson, the finalist of the Grand Prix, then advances to face Yugi. Leon Wilson is revealed to be Leon von Schroeder, Siegfried's younger brother, who desires his family get
How
respect.
many filler arcs is there for just a card game?
Castle Stromberg. Finding its weakness, Yugi defeats Leon with Dark Magician. Number 10, Capsule Monsters. This is worse than regular filler. This is not just filler, this is 4 kids only filler. It was a 4 kids original filler that needed to die and be forgotten. This literally wasn't even Yu-Gi-Oh! They was playing chess and shit, dressed up as monsters. I ain't gonna get into it. Moving along. Number 11,
Oh.
Pharaoh's Memory Card. Yugi sought to unlock
I didn't realize that. So wait, so not only is there filler, but there's also filler for a specific TV channel? What? Shucky brain hurt. I figured we were just here to play with cards, not create a brain aneurysm. Ugh. Maybe I should have listened to Mom and stayed away from the card games. This is getting a little crazy.
the Pharaoh's memories in Egypt, but first learned of his grandpa's past journey recovering the Millennium Puzzle. Grandpa, unaware of the route back to the tomb, urged Yugi to lead the Egyptian god cards, fearing their return. Yugi insisted they were essential for the Pharaoh, and Grandpa relented, acknowledging Yugi's role in aiding the Pharaoh's recovery. Yugi, reflecting on his meeting with Yami, dreamed of their transformative encounter. During an airport encounter, Yugi intercepted Rex and Weevil, stealing the god cards, leading to a confrontation with Yami Bakura. Bakura returned the items, but kept the Millennium Ring, revealing a common goal to bring the 7 Millennium items to the Millennium Stone, setting the stage for a significant shadow game. Arriving in Egypt with his friends, Yugi and company met Ishizu, Merrick, and their brother Oyon Ishtar at an underground cavern housing ancient stone tablets. As Yami presented the god cards to the tablet, his spirit was unexpectedly drawn into the memory world, leaving Yugi behind, confused by the sudden absence of Yami's presence. Shucky then appears, explaining the Pharaoh's departure to a memory-created world and paralleling his initial seal in the Millennium Puzzle. Yugi and friends pleaded with Shucky to enter the memory world and aid the Pharaoh, entering through a doorway within the Millennium Puzzle. Inside, they navigate a labyrinth reflecting the Pharaoh's heart, encountering Yami Bakura and understanding the necessity of waiting for the Pharaoh's call rather than seeking him out. Their focus summoned a door to the memory world, propelling them into an ancient Egyptian realm as spectral entities unnoticed by others. They met Bobasa, capable of interacting with objects, and followed Priest Seto to the palace, discovering their ability to touch certain barriers. Boboso offered assistance in accessing the palace, and amidst the challenges, they met the Pharaoh but lost him during a confrontation with the thief Bakura. Continuing their search, the group encounters Mana, who mistook Yugi for the Pharaoh. She joined their quest, showcasing her magical prowess. Eventually, they reunited with the Pharaoh, who explained his memory fragment and the looming danger of Zork. The Pharaoh departed with Mana, urging them not to intervene. Suspecting the Pharaoh's deliberate memory loss, the group ventured to uncover his name, vital for facing the impending battle with Zork. Inside the Pharaoh's tomb, they encountered puzzles and challenges, culminating in Tristan sacrificing himself to guide Yugi through a perilous path. Their perseverance leads to the revelation of the Pharaoh's name, Atem, aiding in the revival of the Egyptian gods and defeating the monstrous creature Zork. The Pharaoh and Yugi, embracing their distinct identities, emerged from the memory world, bidding farewell to the priest Seto and the memory realm. Back in the cavern, Bakura, now freed from his possession, appears, prompting the Yugis to claim their remaining Millennium items and the Millennium Eye. Their encounter, however, is cut short by the unforeseen arrival of Kaiba, leaving them with more questions as they regain the Millennium Ring and the other items. Leading to the final arc, number 12, the ceremonial battle arc. Yugi, joined by his friends and guided by the Ishtars, embarks on a boat to journey to the shrine of the Millennium Stone, the final resting place of the Pharaoh. There, Merrick reveals that the Pharaoh needed to lose a ceremonial battle in order to move on to the afterlife. Despite Joey and Kaiba offering to duel the Pharaoh, Yugi insists on facing him himself, believing it to be essential for both of them to move on. The night before their arrival at the shrine, Yugi works on his deck, reflecting on the impact of solving the Millennium Puzzle on his life. He shares a moment with Taya, who expresses her reluctance for the Pharaoh to depart, offering support to Yugi and questions the Pharaoh's feelings. Atem, however, feels the same way and prepares his own deck for the looming battle. The following day at the shrine, Yugi places the Millennium items in the Millennium Stone, triggering the separation of their souls into two bodies. The duel between Yugi and Atem begins, with Atem swiftly summoning the Egyptian gods. Utilizing strategic combinations, Yugi manages to redirect and eventually destroy the god cards. The duel intensifies as they employ familiar cards they had used together in the past against each other. Yugi anticipates Atem's moves and counters them, culminating in a dramatic sequence where Yugi ultimately won by attacking Atem directly with Silent Magician. As the duel concludes, Yugi weeps, feeling weak for following Atem all this time and aspiring to match his strength on his own now that he's going to leave him. Atem, however, acknowledges Yugi's tenderness as a form of strength, emphasizing that Yugi has taught him a lot too. Atem clarifies that Yugi was now his true self, no longer merely just a mirror of Atem. The Eye of Wajat then reacts to Atem's name, opening a door to the spirit world. Yugi and his friends try to convince Atem to stay, but Joey helps Taya understand the necessity for Atem's departure. Entering the portal, the doorway closes, prompting the shrine to collapse, burying the Millennium items with it. Returning to Japan, Yugi, reunited with his friends, embraces the notion that everyone possesses their own identity, and he receives a hug from Rebecca at the airport, acknowledging the end of the Pharaoh's tale, while realizing that his own story was just beginning. And that's the end of Yu-Gi-Oh! Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell
Delightful. So I hope that you all learned something from this world of Yu-Gi-Oh! Just as I have. I've learned that never trust items that you find buried in Egypt. That you should play the Pokemon TCG instead of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because there's no shadow games involved. And, never trust a Kaiba man. So, yeah. If I had to place this, somewhere on the rank of Shucky vacation homes, I'd probably place this at least at at a 5 or a 6 out of 10. There's just too much death and too many card games for Shucky. I wanted to just, vacation somewhere less death infused. So let's see where else we can go. Let's see where else Shucky's vacation will take us. Alright. So, let us see where the mighty spin shall take me. Alright, Wheel of Greatness, where is Shucky going on vacation today? Maybe somewhere less death-filled.
Thank you so much.
Well, I want to go here, but Anne is busy with meetings, so they won't be able to see, my great teacher Koro-sensei. So we'll spin again, and we'll wait for them to return. So, spin! Oh, we're heading to the world of the clover. Hang on. With the power of Shuckle control, I will be everywhere. Whoops. Hang on, hang on. Ah. For those that don't know, this is the home of the Black Bull. Or the Shucky Bulls, as I would like to call them. But, you know, trademark pending. This is our new vacation home. And here we shall learn of... Shucky shall learn many a things of the animals. Or the power of friendship, as most will call it.
With magic, there existed a realm known as the Clover Kingdom. In this land, people's worth and potential were measured by their magical abilities, and the strongest of them all were chosen to become magic knights, protectors of the kingdom. However, in a small village called Haga lived a young boy named Asta, who seemingly had no magic at all. Despite being born without magic, Asta possessed an unwavering determination to become the Wizard King, the most powerful mage in the kingdom. Alongside his best friend Yuno, a prodigious mage with exceptional abilities, they made a pact to become magic knights together and rise above their humble beginnings. As the two friends turned 15, they set off to take the magic knight entrance exam. Yuno, with his exceptional talent, was selected to join the elite Golden Dawn squad, while Asta faced rejection from all the squads. However, his unyielding spirit caught the attention of the unconventional captain of the Black Bull squad, Yami Sukehiro, who recognized Asta's potential despite his lack of magic. Asta's journey as a member of the Black Bulls began, and he quickly made new friends within the squad. Noelle Silva, a noblewoman plagued by her own insecurities, found solace and support in Asta's unwavering belief in her. Magna Swing, Luck Voltia, and other members of the Black Bulls also became Asta's comrades, forming an unbreakable bond as they faced countless trials and missions together. As they delved deeper into their adventures, the Black Bulls discovered a sinister plot unfolding within the kingdom. A group known as the Eye of the Midnight Sun, led by the enigmatic Licht, sought to eliminate the existing order and bring chaos to the Clover Kingdom. Uniting with other Magic Knight squads...
You know, all this friendship, magic, and shenanigans, it's reminding Shucky of another realm I've heard many things about. Except instead of magic, there was ninjas. And emo kids. Maybe you've heard of it. It's just somewhere in the back of Shucky's mind somewhere. I can't quite put my finger on it. Shuruto? Narakun? I'll have to take a look at the Shucky notes at some point once I can actually sit down and have a nice beverage. Hold on. Hang on. Hold on. Shucky is grabbing something. Let me grab this. Let's see if this works like Shucky believes it will. If I can will it into existence, it may be so. Yes, I can will it into existence. I could will it to happen with my Shucky powers. There we go. Ah, yes. Delightful. There's the Shuck. There it is. The Shuckatini. You have no idea how long Shucky has been waiting for this. For many months I've been trapped in a space pod. Just drifting. Waiting for some... Waiting just for a chance to see a better life. A vacation of some kind. Aha, there we go. There's them Shucky shades, just like I needed them. Bam! Ah! There we go. Now I look gorgeous. Gorgeous. Now back to our learning session with the Animu.
Including the Golden Dawn and the Silver Eagles, the Black Bulls fought valiantly against the Eye of the Midnight Sun's minions and their powerful magic. In the midst of the conflict, Asta encountered a mysterious grimoire known as the Five-Leaf Clover, the only one of its kind. The grimoire bestowed upon him an anti-magic power, allowing him to nullify and counteract other magic. With this newfound ability, Asta became an indispensable asset in the battle against the Eye of the Midnight Sun. However, the true extent of the conspiracy went deeper than anyone anticipated. It was revealed that the Eye of the Midnight Sun was merely a puppet organization, manipulated by a higher entity known as the Spade Kingdom. The Spade Kingdom, driven by a desire for power, launched an invasion on the Clover Kingdom, plunging the land into chaos and despair. Asta and the Black Bulls, alongside their newfound allies, were determined to defend their homeland. They ventured to the Diamond Kingdom, the neighboring realm that had fallen under the Spade Kingdom's control, seeking alliances and power to turn the tide of the war. There, they encountered Mars, a former enemy turned ally, and Fanzel Kruger, a skilled swordsman who became Asta's mentor. Through intense training and unwavering resolve, Asta and his companions grew stronger, unlocking new powers and forming unbreakable bonds. The battle between the Clover Kingdom and the Spade Kingdom reached its climax as Asta faced the formidable Dark Triad, the ruling force of the Spade Kingdom. With the fate of the kingdom hanging in the balance, Asta tapped into the full potential of his anti-magic and led an epic confrontation against the Dark Triad, ultimately emerging victorious. The war came to an end, and the Clover Kingdom began the process of healing and rebuilding. Asta's unwavering determination and selflessness earned him the unconditional respect and admiration of the people. He became a symbol of hope, embodying the ideals of justice and resilience. The Magic Emperor recognized Asta's incredible achievements and named him the new Wizard King, fulfilling his lifelong dream. Under Asta's leadership, the Clover Kingdom experienced a period of unprecedented prosperity and unity. He implemented reforms to ensure equal opportunities for all, regardless of their magical aptitude or social status. The Magic Knights, including the Black Bulls, became a symbol of strength, loyalty, and unwavering dedication to protecting the kingdom. Throughout his tenure as Wizard King, Asta faced numerous challenges, both internal and external. He tackled political intrigue, rogue mages, and ancient curses that threatened the stability of the Clover Kingdom. With the support of his friends and fellow Magic Knights, Asta confronted these obstacles head-on, always striving to uphold justice and protect those in need. As time passed, Asta's influence extended beyond the borders of the Clover Kingdom. He fostered alliances with other realms, promoting peace and cooperation among different magical societies. His efforts led to a newfound era of harmony and understanding, where magical abilities were celebrated rather than used as a measure of worth. Asta's journey was not without personal growth and introspection. He learned to harness his anti-magic powers, uncovering the true origins and nature of his grimoire. Along the way, he discovered the existence of the demon world, a realm filled with dark magic and malevolent beings. With the help of his friends and allies, Asta embarked on a perilous quest to prevent the demon world from encroaching upon the human realm, risking his life to protect those he
Of course, it's always demons.
Asta's unwavering spirit inspired a new generation
First
of mages,
it's
many young individuals previously marginalized.
First it's card games, sending people to different dimensions sorry. But then now we got demons and magic. Oh my god. Shucky just wanted a nice vacation. Uh Oy, oy, oy. Oy, oy, oy. I just wanted a nice place to vacation.
Due to their lack of magical talent, found hope and purpose in Asta's story. They followed in his footsteps, joining the Magic Knights and fighting for a brighter future. Eventually, the time came for Asta to pass on his mantle as the Wizard King. After a long and successful reign, he retired, leaving behind a legacy of courage, resilience, and compassion. His contributions to the Clover Kingdom and the magical world as a whole were immortalized in history, forever remembered as the hero who defied all odds and changed the course of destiny. And so, the tale of the Black Clover anime, with Asta at its center, lives on as a testament to the power of dreams, friendship, and the indomitable human spirit in a world filled with magic and wonder. In conclusion, the story of the Black Clover anime is an epic saga of triumph over adversity.
Okay, first of all, the ending of this is not correct.
True origins and nature of his grimoire. Along the way, he discovered the existence of the demon world, a realm filled with dark magic and malevolent beings. With the help of his friends and allies, Asta embarked on a perilous quest to prevent the demon world from encroaching upon the human realm, risking his life to protect those he cared about. As years went by, Asta's unwavering spirit inspired a new generation of mages, many young individuals previously marginalized.
Because first of all, while the anime has ended, the story of Black Clover has not ended. So he has not become a wizard king. He didn't even become a wizard king at the end of the anime either. So the end of this is certainly not correct. There's a little some of this is a little off-putting here, but oh my god. But for the most part, this world does not seem like a safe place for a Shuckle to go either. We got demons, running around, people with magic, just starting wars. That's not a place for a Shuckle to vacation. No. We need a better location. We need a better vacation for a Shucky. So let's we'll find a better vacation home for Shucky. We'll find a better one for us to live. Don't worry, we'll find a better place for all us to go vacation with Blackjack, maybe. So let's spin that Shucky wheel and find a better place, a better home. Oh! It is time! We're heading to a ninja world now. Where we'll get a much better explanation of ninja.
To start Naruto off, we got Naruto with no family or friends. For the most part, he is hated by the people of the Hidden Village because of the 9-tailed seals inside of him. The only person who acknowledged Naruto is his sensei Iruka. Although Naruto could pull off a simple shadow jutsu, he created the ultimate goal to become the Hokage and to gain the trust of the people of the village. After taking multiple L's in the academy, Naruto is tricked into stealing the scroll of sealing by an irrelevant ass bitch that you'll probably forget his name by the end of the series. By the way, his name is Mizuki if you really want to waste brain capacity remembering the name. Through the possession of the scroll, Naruto learns the multi-shadow jutsu. Just as Iruka finds Naruto to retrieve and return the scroll, Mizuki attacks him. With killer intent, Mizuki throws a large shuriken at Naruto, but Iruka shields the attack using his body. That's when Naruto says he had enough of this shit and uses his multi-shadow jutsu to beat that ass. After that, Iruka allows Naruto to graduate from the academy to become a genin.
Shucky's not gonna lie to you, I definitely did not remember the ninja that attacked Naruto at the beginning of this show. Shucky remembers a good chunk of Shuruto, or Narakuri, as I would like to call it, but I definitely did not remember who this person was. It was like a faded memory. But you know, once Shucky has a little drink of the martini, things tend to go a little out of memory. We just kind of tend to go to sleep. And then that's all that's left of Shucky. A nice little sleep.
Moving forward, the Genin graduates gather at the academy to get assigned a team. There, Naruto was assigned to Team 7 with Sasuke and uselessness. Oh, I mean Sakura. Hey, hashtag Narusasu. Team 7 then gathers up with their sensei/team leader Kakashi. There, Naruto, Sasuke, and uselessness reveal their motives.
Believe it, I'm Naruto Uzumaki, and my future dream is to be the greatest Hokage! My name is Sasuke Uchiha. What I have is not a dream, because I will make it a reality. I'm going to restore my clan and destroy a certain someone. I'm Sakura Haru.
Nobody gives a shit. After that, Kakashi sets up a bell test to see if they're qualified. They end up failing because they're like,
Nobody gives a shit.
Before starting the second attempt of the bell test, Kakashi tries to eat. Getting that, they feed Naruto, they will automatically
automatically fail. When Naruto's stomach growling rapidly, Sasuke gives a portion of his lunch explaining that he'll be inefficient if he runs on an empty stomach. Of course, uselessness does the same after seeing Sasuke do this. That's when Kakashi appears and tells him that they pass following up with his famous quote, "In the shinobi world, those who break the rules are scum." That's true. But those who abandon their friends are worse than scum. Yeah, I think I did a pretty good job on that. Moving forward, Team 7 is assigned a mission to escort a bridge builder to the land of waves. While they are traveling, they encounter Zabuza, one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist. This is when Kakashi reveals the Sharingan in his left eye, preparing to fuck his shit up. Kakashi ends up getting trapped in Zabuza's water prison jutsu, and so this leaves Naruto, Sasuke, and uselessness to fight Zabuza. Sasuke throws a demon one shuriken at Zabuza, which he manages to avoid. That's when Naruto enters his transformation, throwing a kunai at Zabuza to interrupt his water prison jutsu. Kakashi and Zabuza then have a nice little part 2 to their battle. Just as Kakashi is about to deliver the final blow, Zabuza's partner Haku throws needles at him, hitting points that make it seem like he died. She then plays it off that she's distracted from the hit and miss with a mission to kill Zabuza. She then retreats with Zabuza. Hey, yo, Mo, you know that's a guy, right? Then explain my direction. Moving forward to the next morning, Team 7 heads out to the bridge with the bridge builder, leaving Naruto behind because he's still asleep. That's when 2 of Basu's henchmen barge into the house, kidnap the bridge builder's daughter. Naruto is then like, nah, bro. Taking them both out with a single kick and then makes his way to the bridge. When Naruto arrives at the bridge, the rest of Team 7 is engaging in a battle with Zabuza and Haku. Naruto and Sasuke go up against Haku while Kakashi holds a battle with Zabuza. And as for uselessness, I mean, we already know what she's doing. Haku ends up trapping Naruto, Sasuke, in his crystal ice mirrors jutsu. With that being said, Naruto and Sasuke take a fat L. But the one that takes a fat L is Sasuke because he takes a million needles up the ass defending Naruto. After witnessing Sasuke's sacrifice, Naruto unleashes the 9-tailed chakra within him and says, "I'm gonna kill you." He then goes on a rampage and ends up hitting Haku in the face, breaking her mask. Hey, what did I just tell you? Shut the fuck up! Just as Naruto's about to finish Haku off, he stops because if you really think about it, he's Naruto. Meanwhile, Kakashi's about to finish off Zabuza, but then gets cock blocked by Haku. Oh yeah, since I got a lot of shit for not including this last time. That's when Gato arrives with other higher thugs because he doesn't want to pay Zabuza shit and just wants to take him out right now. Gato then disrespects Haku's body, and at first Zabuza doesn't give a shit. But then Naruto gives one of his powerful speeches, humanizing Zabuza, and so Zabuza retaliates. Since Zabuza was unable to use both of his fight.
Not gonna lie to you, this was one of the coolest things you could ever see. He didn't need his hands. He just had to run in with one kunai. And the power of a champion. It was beautiful. Just beautiful.
With Kakashi, uses the kunai in his mouth to get through the higher thugs to take out Gato. Shortly after Zabuza dies from the damage he took from the higher thugs. After that, Naruto started to develop his ninja way, and the bridge was named after him when it was completed. Moving forward, Team 7 returns back to the Henley village, and the tuning exams are about to take place. As Team 7 arrives at the registration room, there's still all of the tuning exam participants. The first phase of the tuning exam is the written test. Anyone who stays through the whole duration of the test passes, so people who left early due to tension fail. Of course, Team 7 succeeds. Moving forward to the next phase, we got the force of death. The goal here is to gain possession of the earth and heaven scroll. 13 teams are given the earth and 13 teams are given the heaven. There are no rules on how fights are fought, so basically killings allowed. At the beginning of the stage, Naruto's kidnapped by Orochimaru's snake while he went to go take a leak. That's when Orochimaru goes and attacks Sasuke. While Sasuke is fighting Orochimaru, uselessness is being fucking useless. What is it? After escaping Orochimaru's snake, Naruto goes up against Orochimaru and takes a fat L, also losing his Team 7 scroll. Orochimaru then uses his paralysis jutsu on Sasuke and bites him on the neck, giving him the curse mark. Orochimaru then retreats, explains to uselessness that Sasuke will soon come to him and seek a power. Shortly after Sasuke passes out from the strain of the curse mark. With Naruto and Sasuke out of commission, uselessness is the only one that stands. That's when 3 hitting sound shinobi attack. Luckily for her, Rock Lee comes in with that leaf hurricane. Rock Lee then goes up against Dosu, and Dosu ends up choosing the fight with his sound gadget, which impairs Lee's senses, eventually making him pass out. That's when uselessness steps up and ends up getting her hair grabbed by Keen. So she pulls out a kunai and cuts her hair to relieve the grip. Uselessness then tries to be useful and takes on the sound ninja. So in this case, I'll call her Sakura. Yup, back to being uselessness. This is when other Henley shinobi come in to help. A short time after, Sasuke wakes up in his curse mark level 1 form and You seem to be very proud of these arms of yours. after feeling his power surge, Sasuke realizes in order to avenge his clan, he must obtain power even if it means he has to enter into the darkness. Sasuke then goes for a second sound ninja, but uselessness ends up stopping him. Dosu then tries to deal with them and gives his earth scroll in exchange of allowing them to retreat. Team 7 accepts, and shortly after Naruto awakes. Moving forward, Team 7 encounters Kabuto, who has possession of both scrolls. They create an alliance with him in search of the heaven scroll. While searching, they are ambushed by a hidden ninja who they defeat, successfully acquiring the heaven scroll. With that being said, Team 7 successfully succeeds to the third phase of the tuning exams, which is the tournament. Now, the list of teams that pass the second phase is Team 10, Team 8, Team Guy, Team Orochimaru or Kabuto's squad, the hidden sand ninja, the hidden sound ninja, and of course Team 7. Shortly after gathering for the tournament, Kabuto resigns from the tuning exams. After that, they announced that they're gonna run preliminary rounds because of the overstock of participants. For the first match, we got Sasuke and one of Kabuto's teammates. Sasuke was the match smashing his opponents to the ground with his lines barrage technique. After that, Kakashi takes Sasuke to seal the curse mark because of the burden it has become. For the second match, we got Shino and broke arms of the hidden sound, and Shino wins. For the third match, we got Kankuro and the other person in Kabuto's squad, and Kankuro wins. For the fourth match, we got Ino and uselessness and what the fuck, a draw? For the fifth match, we got Tamari and Tenten, and it looks like Tenten takes a fat L. For the sixth match, we got Shikamaru and Keen, and Shikamaru wins. For the seventh match, we got Naruto and Kiba, and Naruto ends up winning by taking the shit in Kiba's face. And on top of that, hitting his Uzumaki barrage. For the eighth match, we got Hinata and Neji, and for the ninth match, we got Rocky and Gaara, and
Again, this was another beautiful fight. A beautiful fight, only to have a tragic end. A tragic end for our lovely Rock Lee. Sadness in its purest form.
And for the 10th and final match of the preliminaries, we got Choji and Dosu, and Choji just takes off fucking fat out. Before the final rounds of the tuning exam take place, there's a month of preparation. This is when Naruto undergoes training with Ebisu. While doing some chakra control training, Naruto encounters Jiraiya, the Toad Sage. That's when Naruto puts Ebisu behind him and trains with Jiraiya. Of course, that's after a good bit of character development, which I don't have time to explain. I'm gonna shut this dude on my asshole. Moving forward, Dosu tries to kill Gaara so he can face Sasuke first in the tuning exams, and that's when Gaara briefly handles him. While Naruto's training with Jiraiya, Sasuke is also training with Kakashi, learning the Chidori. Moving forward to the final rounds of the tournament, Naruto and Neji are first. At first, Naruto takes a massive L, but that's when he hits Neji up with that surprise uppercut to the mouth, winning the match. The next match is with Gaara and Sasuke, but due to Sasuke's absence, they postpone his match, and so Shikamaru and Tamari are up next. Shikamaru outplays Tamari, but then surrenders, explaining that his chakra reserves are low. Also saying that even if he did win, it would have been just a drag. So that takes us to the next match with Gaara and Sasuke, who makes a flashy ass entrance. Sasuke ends up hitting Gaara up with that Chidori, and as a reaction to that, Gaara goes berserk after seeing his blood. This is when the hidden sound and hidden sand start their attack on the hidden leaf. Kabuto puts all the spectators to sleep using genjutsu except the ones that knew how to counter it. The sound shinobi then summons giant snakes in the village to decimate everything and everyone. Meanwhile, the third Hokage hears in is now facing his former student Orochimaru. While all this chaos is going on, Tamari and Kankuro retreat to Gaara, who is now unconscious due to releasing the one tail during his fight with Sasuke. Shortly after, Sasuke goes after them for Gaara. Kakashi then orders uselessness to gather Naruto and Shikamaru, and sends them on a mission to retrieve Sasuke, summoning Pakin to help him track him. While going after Sasuke, they are chased by hidden sound shinobi. That's when Shikamaru comes to the decision that he'll act as a decoy while the rest go ahead. Meanwhile, Sasuke catches up to Gaara, and so Kankuro decides to hold off Sasuke while Tamari flees with Gaara. This is when Shino arrives and takes on Kankuro, allowing Sasuke to go after Gaara. In the battle between Shino and Kankuro, they kind of trade L's because Shino outplays Kankuro with his bugs and Kankuro poisons Shino with his puppet. At this time, the Hokage uses the Reaper Death Seal on Orochimaru.
Deadly bugs. Hate them.
Seal it with the expense of their life. But due to certain circumstances, the third Hokage was only able to seal Orochimaru's arms, disabling his ability to use jutsu. Moving forward, Sasuke finally catches up. Wait, hold up. Moving forward, before Sasuke finally catches up to Gaara and now faces him. This is when Gaara unleashes his half Shukaku form. Sasuke then like, oh hell no, I'm not gonna die here, I need to avenge my clan, and uses his Chidori on Gaara. Gaara then gets back up and taunts Sasuke that he's too weak. Sasuke on his adventure shit pushes himself to do another Chidori and clashes with Gaara once again. Due to Sasuke pushing the limits of his chakra, the curse mark seal is released, paralyzing him. Gaara then goes for the final blow, but just as he's about to reach Sasuke, Naruto comes in and kicks Gaara in the mouth. Oh yeah, and useless arrives also. Naruto and Gaara then have an intense fight. Gaara unleashes the one tail and Naruto summons the giant toe Gamabunta. To get close to Gaara, Naruto jumps off of Gamabunta and hits Gaara with a nasty headbutt. To be honest, I don't even know how they both didn't get concussion from that. With both of them crippled from the fight, Naruto then gives one of his powerful speeches, pretty much erasing all of Gaara's evil intentions. After that, Gaara, Conqueror, and Tamaru retreat back to their village while Team 7 make their way back to the Hidden Leaf village. Moving forward, two Akatsuki members enter the Hidden Leaf village, Itachi Uchiha and Kisame Hoshigaki. They end up encountering Asuma, Kurina, and Kakashi and had no other choice but to fight. Itachi uses his Tsukuyomi on Kakashi, incapacitating him, and retreats with Kisame to search for Naruto. Moving forward, Sasuke enters the room where Kakashi is resting, and overhears that Itachi is in the Hidden Leaf village and search for Naruto. After hearing this, Sasuke rushes and looks everywhere for Naruto. Meanwhile, Jiraiya takes Naruto out for training to learn a new jutsu. They decide to drop by a hotel, and there Jiraiya sees one of them peachy gals. So Jiraiya gives the hotel keys to Naruto and goes for that hoe. While Naruto's in the hotel room, he gets a knock at the door. He opens the door, and there he sees Itachi and Kisame. That's when Sasuke comes around the corner and attempts to get his vengeance on Itachi, but ends up getting his shit fucked up and placed under Itachi's Tsukuyomi. That's when Jiraiya arrives and uses his toad mouth trap jutsu, attempting to wipe out Itachi and Kisame right here and now. But fails because Itachi uses his Amaterasu. They burn an opening, allowing him and Kisame to escape. Due to Sasuke and Kakashi's condition from the Tsukuyomi, Jiraiya and Naruto go on a search for Tsunade, one of the legendary Sanin with exceptional medical ninjutsu. While going on the search, Jiraiya shows and teaches Naruto the Rasengan. The first step to learning the Rasengan is to pop a water balloon by manipulating chakra in a certain pattern. After a couple of days of struggling, Naruto manages to succeed, but now faces another challenge. He must do the same exact thing but with a rubber ball. And so, he succeeds, but of course that's after a good couple of days. With that being said, Naruto moves on to the last step, and that is to maintain a Rasengan inside of an air balloon, without popping it. Moving forward, due to Orochimaru's arms being all fucked up from getting sealed, he goes and sees Tsunade to negotiate a deal. If she heals his arms, he will bring her little brother and her beloved back to life. She hesitates, and so Orochimaru gives Tsunade a week to think about her decision. Moving forward, Jiraiya and Naruto find Tsunade and Shizune at a bar. That's when Jiraiya tells Tsunade that the Hidden Leaf has come to the decision to nominate her as the 5th Hokage. Tsunade rejects the offer and disrespects every single former Hokage. That's when Naruto threatens her, and as a result, a fight. Naruto attempts to use his Rasengan and take a fat L. Tsunade then provokes Naruto on his dream of becoming Hokage and makes a bet with him. If he masters the Rasengan in 1 week, she'll give her necklace as a reward. But if he fails, he'll have to hand over all the money in his wallet and admit defeat. Moving forward, Tsunade meets up with Orochimaru again. Tsunade then pretends to accept the deal and attempts to use an attack disguised as a healing technique. She's quickly stopped by Kabuto, and that's when Tsunade goes on the offensive and engages in a battle with them. Ooh, okay, Kabuto, I see you. Naruto, Jiraiya, and Shizune then arrive. Naruto takes on Kabuto while Jiraiya takes on Orochimaru. During Naruto's fight with Kabuto, Kabuto goes for a kunai attack in which Naruto manages to grab. Naruto then charges that extra juicy Rasengan and smacks Kabuto with it. But Kabuto manages to heal his injury because if you really think about it, he's Kabuto. Shortly after, Kabuto collapses due to reaching his limit, and Naruto collapses due to a slick attack from Kabuto during the Rasengan. Tsunade then heals Naruto, and on top of that gives her a necklace. Meanwhile, Jiraiya takes an L against Orochimaru, and so Orochimaru goes for an attack on Naruto. Tsunade protects Naruto and activates her creation rebirth technique, healing all of her wounds. Shortly after, the legendary Sanin summon their signature summoning creatures, and so Jiraiya and
Another beautiful fight with the greatest of creatures. Unfortunately, I see a lack of Shucky in this stack of creatures, which is, concerning, but alas, this is outside the purview of what exists as a vacationist must be. I didn't come here to fight ninjas. I came here to just be able to sip, drink, and embrace the sunlight.
Orochimaru goes for an attack on Naruto. Tsunade protects Naruto and activates her creation rebirth technique, healing all of her wounds. Shortly after, the legendary Sanin summon their signature summoning creatures, and so Jiraiya and Tsunade go up against Orochimaru. With the odds against him, Orochimaru then takes an L, and so he retreats to Kabuto. Moving forward, Naruto, Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Shizune return to the Hidden Leaf, and Tsunade accepts the position of Hokage. Tsunade then drops by the hospital and heals Kakashi and Sasuke back to health. And a little after, she heals Rock Lee, whose bones were fucked up from the... At this time, Sasuke starts feeling inferior in strength compared to Naruto, and so he challenges him to a fight, also saying fuck your apples uselessness. They then settle their battle on the hospital's rooftop and attempt to finish the fight with their signature Rasengan and Chidori clash. But right before they're about to make contact, Kakashi comes in and redirects their attacks. At first, Sasuke's like, I'm stronger than your dumbass. But then realizes that he fucked up after seeing the hole that Naruto actually created in the back of the water tower. Moving forward, Sasuke just sitting on a tree thinking about the dilemma he's in. That he's fucking weak. This is when Kakashi comes in and tells Sasuke to give up on vengeance, explaining that revenge never ends well. After the lecture, Kakashi leaves, leaving Sasuke alone to think. This is when the Sound Force comes in to beat Sasuke's ass, with the intention to strengthen his desire for more power. They are successful, and so Sasuke leaves the Hidden Leaf village with the Sound Force to acquire this power from Orochimaru. But right before he leaves, he encounters uselessness, who he karate chops in the back of the neck, knocking her out. Moving forward to the following morning, the Hidden Leaf is notified by Sakura about Sasuke going rogue. As a result, they dispatch a Sasuke recovery team that consists of Naruto, Shikamaru, Shoji, Kiba, and Neji.
Please bring Sasuke back to me.
Man, why the fuck did she keep getting screen time? Meanwhile, the Sound Force gives Sasuke a mind awakening pill to upgrade his curse mark to level 2. With that being said, Sasuke will be sealed in a coffin until his transformation is complete. Moving forward, the Sasuke recovery team catches up to the Sound Force, so Jirobo holds him off while the rest go ahead to deliver Sasuke to Orochimaru. Shoji decides to take on Jirobo one-on-one, allowing the others to go after Sasuke. As a last resort, Shoji pops his chili pill to acquire enough strength to crush Jirobo. Shortly after, he collapses due to the side effects of the chili pill. Oh yeah. Moving forward, the Sasuke recovery team catches up to the Sound 4, I guess it's the Sound 3 now. And there they are held up by Kidomaru. Neji decides to take on Kidomaru to allow the rest to go after Sasuke. In the fight, Neji takes an arrow to the stomach and utilizes this to his advantage by sending chakra through the web the arrow is attached to, immobilizing Kidomaru. Neji then follows up with his signature H-Trigram 64 palms and ends Kidomaru by rapidly jabbing his titties. Moving forward, the Sasuke recovery team catches up to the Sound 2, I guess. And now they finally get their hands on Sasuke's coffin. To increase their chances of succeeding in the mission, Kiba takes on Sakan/Ukon, and Shikamaru takes on Tayuya. But just as they're about to execute their plan, Orochimaru's henchman Kimimaru swoops in and takes the coffin. Naruto pursues him while the others settle their battle. Eventually, Naruto catches up to him, and so they end up fighting. During Naruto's fight with Kimimaru, Sasuke's transformation completes, and so he heads to Orochimaru without saying a single word to Naruto. That's when Rock Lee comes in and takes on Kimimaru, allowing Naruto to go after Sasuke. Moving a little forward, Rock Lee starts taking small L's, and so Gaara arrives to assist him. Simultaneously, as Tamari and Conqueror arrive to assist Shikamaru and Kiba in their battles. The result of this is rest in peace, rest in peace, rest in peace. And so
Goddamn.
Here. Of course, after this commercial break, or maybe not a commercial break, but did you know Orochimaru transferred his soul to another body, overcoming the effects of his sealed arms? We don't give a shit.
Well, okay, Shucky again. This is something Shucky must have missed or forgotten. I didn't realize he transferred himself to another body to get over the old Repodexia. A clever ploy. A clever ploy. Honestly, I'm surprised he just didn't amputate his arms and add new ones, but I guess that's just thinking a little too lowbrow. Anyway.
We are finally here with the final battle between Naruto and Sasuke to settle the beef. Of course, Naruto tries one of his powerful speeches, but yeah, it seems it wasn't effective. So with no other choice, they fight, because remember kids, violence solves all problems. At the climax of their battle, Naruto and Sasuke charge their extra juicy Rasengan Chidori and smash that shit like me and this goddamn dildo.
What?
Man, at least This ain't no homo. The fight ends with Sasuke winning, and so he heads to Orochimaru for this quote-unquote power. Shortly after Kakashi arrives and takes Naruto back to the Hidden Leaf Village. While in the hospital, Naruto says to go to bring back Sasuke, and oh my god, what is this? Wait, what are all these fillers? Well, fast forwarding roughly 80 episodes, Naruto leaves the Hidden Leaf Village with Jiraiya to train, because in roughly 2 years, the Akatsuki plan on capturing all 9 Jinchuriki, which makes Naruto one of the targets. With that being said, it looks like that's the end. Hey Mo, you trying to watch some hentai?
Also, yeah, they were not kidding about that. They were not. There was, after that fight with Naruto and Sasuke, there was about 80 episodes of just filler. So just 80 episodes about nothing happening. They could have literally just ended Naruto sometime after that fight, but no. They had to. They needed time to, I guess, to prepare for shipping it or whatever. But just imagine seeing that great fight, and then after that going, "What on earth is this?" just, ugh. Anyway. If Shucky had to rate, this as a vacation spot, let's think. Let me consult the notes. Let us see here. Because Yugi, let's see, ranking this on a scale of, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Got a 6 out of 10. You know, deadly card games, people getting trapped in shadow realms, holograms, and body possession. Black Clover. I'd put that at a 3 out of 10. Because they're actually got demons and magic running around out there in the open. It's not like you're getting sent to another dimension. You're dealing with demons here and now. You're dying. Welcome back, Anne. We've got just the place for us to go. Yes, this is the Shucky Teeny. Delicious. But, if I had to put Naruto somewhere,
or whipping him. So
I'd put it at the same rank as Black Clover, because we got deadly ninjas, we got giant creatures running amok, people are really dying, kids getting kidnapped by evil snake men. I can't go here. But we do have a place that we can go, and I'm glad that you're here to see it. Take care, Muhammad. So let me use my glorious powers. And send us somewhere beautiful. Alright. Sorry, the old shuttle control takes a lot of energy, you know. Sorry about that. But we arrived safely. Just as I planned. Now let me get my nice little drink. Welcome to the magical world of Assassination Classroom.
Thank you so much. We were up in the mountains recently. This was a little bit harder. It's your turn, Justin.
And here things shall make sense as well. We I can't find what I'm looking for, so I shall, I think we shall take this.
The life of Koro-sensei, Assassination Classroom. Koro-sensei was the homeroom teacher of Class 3E of Kunugigaoka Junior High School, and the secondary protagonist...
Welcome, Astro, to the Shucky vacation. Shucky is going on a vacation thanks to all of you, so we're getting to see the magical realms of anime, and deciding which place would be the best place for a vacation. If you have a suggestion for a place we can go, one sub will allow us to add that to the list. And we will learn the many things of these worlds. We've seen Yu-Gi-Oh!, The Black Clover, Naruto, and now we're in Assassination Classroom, where we get to show you my lovely mentor, Koro-sensei.
He claimed to be responsible for creating Permanent Crescent Moon, and added that he
Also, we're learning these things at high speeds because I need to find out if these plays are good today, as, you know. Chuggy time is very short.
For a year. Prior to being a teacher, he was the assassin known as the Reaper. Welcome to the Imagi. In today's video, we're going over the life of Koro-sensei. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Background. As a child, he was born into one of the vilest and corrupt slums in an unknown country. It was an environment where everybody could easily betray one another to the point that one could only trust oneself. Through these hardships, he decided to become an assassin, eventually becoming the master assassin known as the Reaper. Immediately, his talents were shown as he left a tremendous trail of corpses in his wake. He became notorious for breaking through even the most strict security teams to assassinate his targets without any hitch. All this changed after assassinating a wealthy businessman and father. The man's child witnessed the killing, and the child became enamored with the beauty of the kill, requesting that the Reaper train him as his apprentice. Eager for the assassination opportunities that an apprentice could give, the Reaper took in the boy and trained him. He taught him everything he knew, all while still instilling respect and fear in him, and letting him know the difference in power between them. Though he only saw him as a tool rather than a real student. After several successful jobs, the apprentice turned on the Reaper as he was attempting to escape a prison facility. The apprentice, now the current Reaper, sought his master's title and abandoned him just to fuel his ego. Betrayed, the Reaper was captured and thrown into an undocumented research laboratory run by Kotaro Yanagisawa. Yanagisawa's research goal was to create large amounts of antimatter by having it piggyback on the growth of human cells. It was there that he met and befriended Aguri Yukimura, a teacher who was at the time in an arranged and abusive marriage to Yanagisawa. She was brought in to keep a closer eye on him, as Yanagisawa considered her easily expendable if he attempted to break free and take her hostage. As the tests continued, the Reaper began to slowly bond with her and became fond of her as she worked on compiling exam questions for her class, and it was during this time he learned what compassion was. However, a problem arose when Yanagisawa and his researchers began to question what would happen to Koro-sensei's antimatter cells.
Oh, thank you, Astro, for giving a Shucky sub to the people. I know that they would appreciate it, and as I'm sure you know, one shuckle will always remain. Oh, but that's not the only thing you earn from this lovely little bit. The Kago universe soon. Oh no. But that's not the only... Let me cut over to our lovely friend, or your lovely friend at least, that's just hiding out in an unknown part of the world. Hello? Is this thing on? Am I alive? Hello? I was taking a nap and I was called back into existence for, I guess, a Bean Boozle. So... Oh, that's coffee. Oh, no, that's not coffee. No, 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 no. Oh, I can smell the liver. Oh. 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 I can't believe you've done this. Oh. Also, hello, Papa. How are you? I can't believe you've done this. Ugh. Disgusting. Disgust. And, well, I'm out of here now, so... I didn't even want to make sort. Well, you've done what you've done now. Oh, and I'm out of here. Wasn't that just a delightful bit of bean? Delightful, delightful. I'm sure that they appreciated that. as it adds more to our overall goal of greatness this month, pushing towards a 5th goal. Also, a nice shout out to the lovely Shucky themselves, Astro.
Let's do roulette. Let's do roulette. Let's do roulette. I go first.
Will it kill you or no?
I don't know. Let's see.
It's the spring. It's the spring noise. The spring just chef's kiss. Also, a lovely shout out to the lovely Papa. And for those who are interested,
You guys are tall. You're only 5'2".
we have our Bloodborne
I got
competition on Friday.
put the
So,
zoom in.
if you would like to hunt with the Bloodborns, join us, please. Join us, please. Anyway, back to the explanation of my great friend Koro-sensei.
To answer this question, Yanagisawa and his team launched a small automated lab onto the moon to safely test the possibility of what happened if a subject with Koro-sensei's antimatter-infused cells were to die. In this case, a small lab rat. When the rat eventually died at the end of its lifespan, it caused a volatile reaction with the antimatter in its body. The antimatter created a chain reaction that turned 70% of the moon's matter into antimatter, which then completely exploded. Upon seeing this, Yanagisawa was horrified at the results. His subordinates then began running calculations and discovered that the same thing would happen to the Reaper by March 13th of the following year. Earth would be destroyed the same way if left unchecked, prompting Yanagisawa to order his subordinates to start preparations to kill him. A mortified Aguri overhears this and decides to go speak to the Reaper and tell him their findings. When she does, however, he reveals that it doesn't bother him, as he expected a death such as this from the start. Telling Aguri to leave, he finally unleashes his full power that he gained from the experiments to escape, as a visibly fuming Yanagisawa watches from a nearby security camera. The Reaper then proceeds to rampage violently, killing off several guards and in the process damaging Yanagisawa's left eye. However, during the escape, Aguri is mortally wounded when she landed in the line of fire of a special trip mine meant for him, to the latter's horror. He then laments the fact that if he hadn't wasted his skills on killing, he would know how to save her. Her final wish to him was to teach the students of Class E, all while thinking of what a wonderful teacher he will be. With this, she also left a large tie as a present for him to take. Depressed but not broken, the Reaper vowed to help those children. He left a note, then left the facility for a nearby mountain, and then uses various items on the mountain to create a new set of clothes to suit his new role as a teacher. Although not responsible for destroying 70% of the moon, he takes the blame and tells the world's leaders that he'll destroy the Earth as well in March of the following year, and requests to become the homeroom teacher for Kunigagaoka Junior High School's Class 3E. The world leaders accept the deal, hoping it'll give them a chance to assassinate him. However, they also added another condition. He would not harm the students. Introduction. Assassination time. As Koro-sensei starts the attendance, he asks,
Behold then, this is my great teacher and my great mentor, Koro-sensei. The tentacled man himself. Once an assassin, but molded into the greatest teacher there could have ever been. A kind-hearted man.
asks the one who's on day duty to issue command. Koro-sensei was then ambushed by his students with automatic rifles. However, he dodges the bullets while doing the attendance. Koro-sensei is pleased that there are no absentees, though he is also ashamed that nobody could hit him. He tells them that they should devise a plan together. The students complain that even if he were to get hit by the BB pellet bullets, he would just endure it. Koro-sensei demonstrates that those BB bullets, created specially in America for harming him, are harmless to the students, and shoots his right feeler off. However, Koro-sensei regenerates his feeler back after a few seconds. He warns them not to use them indoors except for killing him. He then tells them that they'll be able to kill him before graduation, and decides to tidy the class up. Later, he questions Kimura of which one of his 4 tentacles is the weird one, which Kimura responds that the blue tentacle is the odd one, and Koro-sensei is then pleased with his correct answer. He then catches a bullet with his chalk. He becomes red and punishes Nakamura, saying that her assassination meddles with her study. When lunchtime starts, Koro-sensei decides to go to China while grading his students' tests. Koro-sensei later came back with a missile souvenir after having been ambushed by the self-defense embassy of Japan. Nagisa asks him if it was troublesome that he was targeted, but Koro-sensei tells him that he doesn't really mind and that it shows proof of his vast power. The class starts again, and Koro-sensei decides to assign a poem, and the one who's finished should bring it to him. Koro-sensei was asked by Kaino what name they should refer him as, and Koro-sensei tells her that they can decide. Koro-sensei sees Nagisa walking up to deliver the letter. Then he was suddenly struck by him, but he easily blocked it. However, Nagisa retaliates with a BB pellet grenade, much to Koro-sensei's surprise. However, Koro-sensei uses his shed skin to protect himself and Nagisa, which he can only use once a month. After revealing his ability, he turns black with extreme anger and calls out the ringleaders of the BB pellet grenade. Koro-sensei then roams around town with his Mach 20 speed and brings the nameplates from their houses. He tells the students, due to the agreement to not harm the students, if they try the same assassination method again, then he would annihilate anyone they know. He was questioned by Terasaka of the degree of the assassination, and Koro-sensei corrects him by saying that it was excellent and praises Nagisa for
You should, Astro, you should. It is a great anime.
He then advises them that they should use an assassination method that will make everyone happy, and that they should use their hidden talents. After seeing a burn mark on the table, he remembers the incident from his past. First semester. Apart from avoiding every assassination attempt by the class, Koro-sensei teaches them valuable life lessons and gives the individual students the confidence in themselves, despite being placed in a discriminatory Class 3E. When going up against the school's discriminatory education policy led by the board chairman, Gakuho Asano, Koro-sensei lost in the midterm exams by having been focused too much on getting all of Class E ranked in the top 50. At the time, however, it was also to teach the students the importance of having a second blade, since in the event Koro-sensei is killed, the students still have to plan for their future in life regardless of who claims the 10 billion yen bounty. During the exhibition match between Class E and the school's baseball club, Koro-sensei coached the class in countering the star players' pitches and helped them win despite Asano's interventions. While the students are grateful that their teacher's doing all of this for their benefit, they still get annoyed by his various antics, such as eavesdropping for juicy gossip and getting too cocky, which normally gets Koro-sensei into trouble. During the semester, Koro-sensei had been challenged to a duel against the second transfer student, Itona Horibe, accompanied by the mysterious Shiro. To his and everyone's surprise, Horibe has the same tentacle implants as Koro-sensei, which explains why Horibe had earlier called Koro-sensei his brother. Although visually disturbed by Itona's tentacles and the well-planned strategies devised by Shiro, Koro-sensei outmaneuvers the pair and defeats Itona. Before Koro-sensei could get any answers regarding Itona's tentacles, the pair retreats, but not before vowing to return. The pair kept their vow and returned to ambush Koro-sensei, but he was rescued by the students who were none too pleased that they were used and almost killed indirectly by Shiro. With the finals approaching, Koro-sensei motivates the class into getting first place in any of the 5 subjects, with the reward being that they have the right to shoot off one of his tentacles. Knowing that this will slow down his speed, the class takes up the challenge enthusiastically, but also gets drawn into a wager with Class A. The results show that Ryo Nakamura, Yuma Isugai, and Manami Okuda scored first place in English, Social Studies, and Science respectively. However, Koro-sensei had been conned to have 4 additional tentacles destroyed by Tedasaka, Hazama, Muramatsu, and Yoshida tied for first place in Home Economics, a subject Koro-sensei tried unsuccessfully to disregard as not being a core subject. The class's plan is to attempt their ambitious assassination on Holiday Island Resort in Okinawa, which was a prize for winning the wager with Class A. Assassination Island Arc. Arriving on the island resort, Koro-sensei participates in many activities with the class seemingly not knowing the true purpose of his students' agenda ahead of the assassination. At the end of the day, Koro-sensei had been sunburned to the point that no one can read his burnt face. He sheds his skin as his monthly routine, but unwittingly weakens himself and wasted one of his defense measures. The class then makes him watch an embarrassing film of his antics and unusual hobbies as a way to mentally weaken him. When it finishes, he realizes too late of the high tide as the 7 shoot off his tentacles. From there, his surroundings change dramatically as the students trap him in a hydraulic water cage and fire anti-sensei BBs all around him. As he senses 2 BBs fired by Chiban Hayami, Koro-sensei was forced to use his last resort, turning himself into a ball with an unbreakable shield surrounding him at the cost of forsaking his mobility. Later that night, 10 of the students collapse to an artificial virus. The mastermind behind the virus puts them to ransom and demands that Koro-sensei be delivered by Nagisa and Kayano to the mountain hotel in exchange for the antidote. Although unable to move, Koro-sensei assists the 15 remaining students to infiltrate the hotel and even help call out commands while simultaneously distracting one of the hired hitmen. When the class discovers the mastermind to be a short-lived PE teacher, Akira Takaoka, Koro-sensei is forced to watch him and Nagisa battle it out for the antidote. The situation was so grave that Koro-sensei grew worried and even advised Karasuma to intervene should anything bad happen. Fortunately, Nagisa was able to defeat Takaoka, and the ill students had never been in any danger, the virus being fake. The next day, Koro-sensei was sealed away in concrete slabs by Karasuma in a vain effort to kill him, but he manages to return to his normal form. Before leaving the island, Koro-sensei organized the test of courage. It's supposedly a haunted attraction, but his ulterior motive is to create more juicy gossip by pairing up the students to spark any romances. Freaking Koro-sensei. The class immediately realized that
Koro-sensei.
Instead turned the tables on the teacher by making him scared.
That troublemaker.
Much like the first semester, Koro-sensei continued teaching Class 3E some valuable life lessons. He gave the class some practical experience to their newly learned ability to free run taught by Karasuma by organizing a game of cops and robbers, and inspired Yuma Isugai to lead his class to victory against Class A during the athletic festival. Koro-sensei briefly suffered a loss in trust with his students when they suspect him of crimes he didn't commit due to his perverted hobbies. He was vindicated when he and a few of the skeptical students find the culprit to be Shiro and Ituna, who once more ambush him using the same strategy employed by Class 3E during the summer vacation. This time, Koro-sensei was able to convince Ituna to join them after the latter was coldly abandoned by Shiro for the repeat failures and remove the tentacles from him. As the midterms approached, some of the students started to take shortcuts by studying and training at the same time, free running through the town despite being expressly forbidden to do so. This soon gets them into trouble when they surprise an old man and cause him to break his leg. Koro-sensei was furious upon learning of this and slapped the students involved in his anger despite the condition he was not to harm them. To teach them humility, Koro-sensei forbids them to study for 2 weeks and help out at the nursery the old man runs, which consequently lowered their test ranks, save for karma. The students' actions had also attracted the attention of the professional hitman known as the Reaper. When Koro-sensei was away, the hitman took the class hostage to lure the target in, and Koro-sensei was soon captured. They were later freed when Karasuma defeated the Reaper. Afterwards, Koro-sensei held a careers consultation for the class, wishing to know what their second blade will be should somebody succeed in killing him, while humorously avoiding each student's attempt to kill him. After hearing Nagisa's admission that he has the talent to become an assassin, Koro-sensei vows to support him despite the dangers of this path. He later disguised himself as Karasuma during a parent-teacher interview with Nagisa's mother Hiromi, who wants to transfer her son back to the main campus. But seeing her dominant personality and inferiority complex to make Nagisa follow the path in life she laid out for him,
I tell you this now. Poor Nagisa's mom is a horrible woman. Horrible. Oh no, oh no. I see what... I've seen the message that you have sent, Astro, and this is... Oh no, oh no, oh no. I see what you have said, and oh no. Oh no.
Who wants to transfer her son back to the main campus, but seeing her dominant personality and inferiority complex to make Nagisa follow the path in life she laid out for him, Koro-sensei refuses her request. That night, he saw Nagisa take out a hidden assassin in front of his mother and drove them both back to their house. During the school festival, Koro-sensei advised
Wait, what?
That night, he saw Nagisa take out a hidden assassin in front of his mother and drove them both back to their house. During the school festival, Koro-sensei advises the students to use the mountain to find natural ingredients to make acorn noodles as a way to attract customers to travel the 1-kilometer trek from the main campus to the 3E classroom. In his final battle with Chairman Asano, Koro-sensei aided his students to triumph over Class A and even turned the tables when Asano himself arrived to kill him. There, Koro-sensei revealed that he based his teaching methods based on Asano's own methods in his early teaching career and was responsible in Asano somewhat regaining his former kind personality. The end of the semester took a dangerous twist when Kaede Kaino launched a surprise attack on Koro-sensei, revealing to have implanted tentacles on herself. Koro-sensei managed to avoid falling into an anti-sensei Phoebe-filled pit by blasting a hole in the wall, prompting Kaino to recoil in instinct. Koro-sensei asked what happened to her afterwards, and she revealed to be the younger sister of Aguri Yukimura, drawing a surprise reaction from him and her classmates. At the students' insistence and seeing his past finally catching up to him, Koro-sensei agreed to tell the full story of his past, but not until Kaino is subdued. He and his class meet her at Kunigigaoka Park, and the two start to fight. Immediately, Koro-sensei senses Kaino's subconscious fading as her tentacles start to dominate, and asks the class to find a way to calm Kaino's bloodlust before she dies. Koro-sensei intentionally reveals his main weak point, his heart behind his crescent moon tie, and Kaino strikes. Although being gravely wounded, Koro-sensei pins her down, stating his promise to her sister not to let any of the students fall, allowing Nagisa to approach Kaino and kiss her into unconsciousness. Koro-sensei removes her tentacles and sees Shiro, who Koro-sensei now recognizes to be his jailer Kotaro Yanagisawa, watching the whole thing with a masked accomplice. When Kaino wakes up filled with regret, Koro-sensei tells his class about his past as the original Reaper, bonding with Aguri during his captivity and promising to teach her students before she died during his escape. He also stated that even if no one managed to assassinate him by March, he would die along with the entire world. Final semester. At the start of the final semester, Koro-sensei greets his class with unusual enthusiasm, but he notices their unenthusiastic response even after the winter break, stemming from hearing his past. While Karasuma is worried that their motivation to kill is weakened, Koro-sensei only states how the class will respond. The teachers later arrive after seeing a student meeting taking place, but degenerates into a violent scuffle between Nagisa and Karma. Koro-sensei mediates the situation by suggesting that the two factions, those wanting to kill Koro-sensei and those wanting to save him, settle their differences by playing a paintball game, with the winning side having their opinion to be the final say in uniting the class again. Koro-sensei later watches the battle unfold from a raised platform and commentates on some of the individual students' hidden talents. When the fight's reduced to the last man standing between Nagisa and Karma, he compares each of the boys' specialized skills. Eventually, Nagisa wins when Karma surrenders voluntarily, but the class has been reunited under a common goal once more. Karasuma later speculates that the war is what Koro-sensei had planned all along, another lesson to educate the students. Searching for a way to save their teacher, the class eventually comes across information that can meet their purpose. The information is based on American research data experimenting how to neutralize the antimatter without causing it to explode. However, the experiments are being conducted on board the International Space Station by trained personnel. Koro-sensei suggests a crazy plan to the students to infiltrate a Japanese launch site and have 2 students replace the dummies in the shuttle and essentially hijack the space station. At the site, the class quietly infiltrates the facility and delegates Nagisa and Karma to be the hijackers. As the 2 launch into space, Koro-sensei barely manages to keep up with the launch shuttle as he wishes the pair luck. The boys return to Earth with the data, and Koro-sensei helps Ritsu steer the shuttle back to the classroom. After bribing an irritated Kurasama with a successful experiment of sending 2 living beings into space without any harm done, he soon learns from the research data that the chances of him self-destructing in March is less than 1%. Moreover, the chemical he and Okuda worked on back in the first semester that liquefied him also neutralizes the antimatter's effects. Despite learning of this, Nagisa and the class resolve to at least continue their mission to kill their teacher until graduation. Hearing this, Koro-sensei throws a quick-fire spontaneous round of festivities the class didn't experience during the winter break due to their depressed state after hearing his past. While he celebrates, the class made numerous attempts to kill him, but their target speed and their own sloppiness meant their efforts were for nothing. The teacher soon brings the class back down to reality by announcing the high school entrance exams is happening in 2 weeks' time and that he will hold another careers consultation afterwards to discuss the students' futures after graduation. When the entrance exams arrive, Koro-sensei wishes every student good luck with his usual enthusiasm, unwittingly embarrassing them in the process. Afterwards, he tries to console a devastated Takebayashi who bombed out in getting to the top high school as his first preference. He also punishes every student that utters any word synonymous with fail with an outdated hairstyle known as 7-3. The class eventually realized that the target was baiting them purposefully to entertain himself and try to kill him in anger. A day before Valentine's Day, Koro-sensei influences Maihara to spend time with Hinata Okano as a way to catch more love gossip. Maihara took his advice but also knew of Koro-sensei's motives to spy on them. Koro-sensei spent much of the day spying on the class for love gossip, but was easily distracted by Kaino's photo of Aguri in a swimsuit and the chocolate present.
Oh, Koro-sensei.
During nighttime, when he continues to admire the photo of Aguri in a swimsuit in the staff room, Koro-sensei dodges Chairman Asano's sudden attack and was offered the choice to continue teaching after March. However, Koro-sensei declined, and they end up chatting together for the whole night. With the whole class having been accepted into their top preferences for high school, Koro-sensei wanted to collate a graduation photo album using the 10,000 photos he had already taken, most of them being the students' private or embarrassing moments. Because remember, Koro-sensei is a tentacle monster, and he's
oh, look, oh, go back. Rewind.
Because
Delight.
Koro-sensei wanted to collate a graduation photo album using the 10,000 photos he had already taken, most of them being the students' private or embarrassing moments. Because
there it is. That glorious Gear 2 Delight. It may be a blur, but you can see just the beautiful energy in it. Delightful. Shucky approves. Delightful.
remember, Koro-sensei is a tentacle monster and he's a creeper at the same time, but also kind-hearted. Believing this not to be enough, he then gathered the class for a quick round-the-world tour, taking snapshots and leaving without any chance for sightseeing. Afterwards, he met the students individually for another careers consultation, having to meet Nagisa last. He's happy that Nagisa decided to become teacher, and supports his decision. After Kurasama leaves the classroom with Koro-sensei compiling his graduation photo album, a weaponized beam of light strikes the classroom. Much to the government's surprise, Koro-sensei escapes the space weapon, dubbed the Spear of Heaven, but not unscathed. He tries to fly away, but is blocked by the impenetrable Earth Shield, which also extends underground. Trapped on the mountain, Koro-sensei is impressed and seemingly admits defeat. He continues to work on the graduation album, though he wished to see the students one last time. On the final night of the deadline, Koro-sensei and the class happily reunites. Briefed of the situation, and that the satellite weapon would fire again in 90 minutes, he imparts with one last life lesson to his students, to confront and navigate through society head-on, and not reject it as he once did. Video Nakamura presents their teacher a small cake to mark the event Aguri declared to be his birthday, the day when she and Koro-sensei first met each other. Having not eaten any sweets for nearly a week, Koro-sensei starts drooling on the cake, but nonetheless feels happiness. Before he could blow out the cake, however, the cake was destroyed by Shiro, accompanied by Koro-sensei's former princess, number 2, who's now a hideous tentacled monster. The two proceed to fight, where it was obvious to everyone that number 2 was able to reach speeds at Mach 40, and Koro-sensei was barely able to defend himself. Furthermore, Shiro injected himself with a tentacle seed to become superhuman, while retaining his intelligence to support the apprentice. When Koro-sensei begins to dodge their attacks more effectively, Shiro orders number 2 to attack the defenseless class. As his natural duty, Koro-sensei takes the full brunt of the apprentice's attacks to protect them, and he declares that protecting them isn't his critical weakness, but rather the happiest gift he had been given. Koro-sensei continues wearing himself down to protect them until Kaino fires a shot at number 2 to buy her teacher time to heal himself. Despite Koro-sensei's protests, Kaino was able to damage one of number 2's tentacles, but was pierced right in the chest, the same manner as her sister. Seeing all this, Koro-sensei turns black as a sign of his rage. Shiro injects the second Reaper with a needle, supposedly a stimulant of some sort, in order to match his power more easily. As Reaper 2.0's attack hurtles towards his heart, Koro-sensei stops it with white energy, much to Shiro's surprise. Fusing all his emotions and colors together, he uses his ranged energy explosion tactic, blasting away both the Reaper 2.0 and Shiro. While Shiro's humiliatingly disintegrated by the barrier, Koro-sensei knifes his apprentice in the chest. The two share one last exchange, where Koro-sensei acknowledges his former student's wish and promises to start over should they meet on the other side, before the Reaper is also disintegrated. Koro-sensei returns to the students and starts treating Kaino's wounds, having collected her blood prior to the droplets hitting the ground, even while fighting his opponents. As the students celebrate Kaino's miraculous recovery, Koro-sensei stares at the night sky, wondering whether he had successfully fulfilled his promise to Aguri. Final moments. Koro-sensei then collapses out of fatigue from his fight with Reaper 2.0, and after noticing the laser's light intensifying, announces that now was the time for the class to kill him. Once the class reluctantly decides to pin him down, Koro-sensei tells his students that he left them each a book of advice as a farewell gift, and that he would announce one last roll call. As he calls out the list of names, he reminisces on how he's proud of his students who gave meaning to his life. Nagisa, who chose the living blow, becomes overwhelmed by his emotions. In response, Koro-sensei softly places a tentacle on his cheek and tells him that he wants Nagisa to kill him with a smile on his face. After giving each other their final farewells, Koro-sensei is stabbed in the heart, and his body dissipates into numerous particles of light. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos.
Rest in peace, Koro-sensei. A champion of champions. A real hero. Well, honestly, I'd have to give this vacation a 10 out of 10. Because as long as you live a pretty normal life, you're not really going to get involved in this debacle of sadness and fond memories. But a lovely place indeed, where an old friend shall remain. But Now on to our next location. One entered into by none other than Astro. Hang on, let me... Let me acquire the power needed. I must gather all of the power that I possess. Should be going next. Oh, well, since you added your redeem, we will be going to your location first. Such a stupid pair. Oh boy. Well, I obviously can't show any of these images as a location spot, so I think I'll just go with the... We'll go here, because I obviously can't show the other one. Not to worry, I've got just the thing.
From the emoji, and make sure to subscribe.
Hello.
Oh, goodness. Oh, this first frame already is a problem. Alright, let's oh boy. Alright, there we go. A nice Shucky in the pool. Delightful. Now let us find this location that you've chosen. Yeah, this is gonna be something, so let's see what... Shucky has never seen this, so I'm not really sure what we're getting into, but here we go.
Everyone, I'm Justin, and for today's video, we're going ass to ass.
Oh no, this is the anime I think it is. This must be in the, yes, that one Shucky sport that they can't really show on TV. You know, this is, this is in the other part of, Shuckyville.
Catch people's attention. Is it because of its blooming youth? Maybe it relates to giving your all in the sport that you love. Or maybe it's simply just because we want to watch girls in swimming suits hitting each other with their butts. For today's video, we will be taking a look at a fake sports anime called Keijo. But before we begin, here is a fair warning that there will be major spoilers ahead for the anime. And with that said, let's move on with the video. Keijo is
a decent shonen
that tells the story of Nozomi, a young girl who decides to become a professional in the fictional sport of Keijo. This fictional world has found a woman-only sports as the newest fad for gambling. Now, I will try to explain the sports using the most technical terms possible. So, basically a bunch of girls enter an arena inside a pool. They fight using mostly their butts, but sometimes other parts, and we'll touch on that later. And they try to push their opponent into the water. Think of it as water sumo, but with girls and less
Okay, so
women.
water sumo.
Now,
Okay.
it is important to understand
You
that
haven't
this is a
lived
fictional
unless
world,
you've seen an
and you
ad.
need to
Oh,
come with
what?
that mindset because if not, a few things won't make that much sense. Like, how can bot attacks create a vacuum effect? Can moving your boots hypnotize people? And where can I get my...
I mean, I'm not gonna say this personally, but I'm sure some people have been hypnotized by the sway of breasts. I'm sure that's happened to some people in real life. I wouldn't be surprised, you know.
my tickets? The point is, sometimes sports don't need to make that much sense to be entertaining. And oh my god, is this anime entertaining? It managed to create the perfect balance between shonen sports animes and horny ecchi animes, reaching the core demographic of horny 15-year-olds that think this is peak anime. Okay, moving on with the story, as mentioned before, it focuses on Nozomi, as she takes the exam to join the Setouchi training school, considered one of the best schools to become a professional at Keijo. After passing the test, she joins the school and becomes friends with a few of the girls. As it is usual in this type of fighting sports animes, everyone has their own unique ability that relates to their bodies. For example, there is this girl with huge and soft boobs and butt that can basically absorb all attacks. Another girl can copy abilities just by touching the butts of the other girls, and so on. You get the point. There are as many abilities as there are butts in this world.
Oh
As
my
for the actual
god.
progression of the story, the show is really cookie cutter shonen sports anime, following the usual formula of her joining the school, fighting her way to become the top of the class, doing a training arc, and finally competing in the tournament against a rival school.
Oh my
It does not try to
god.
take risk in the plot progression, but that is understandable, because the risks are already taken in the characters and their powers. I have no idea how this wasn't rated R18, but there is literally one scene where a girl touches her breast to make her nipples stiff, so that she can use them to grab another girl bikini as a judo grappling technique.
What?
All of this while the other girl is looking at her with her heat vision that shows the heat in her nipples. Wait, that can't be right.
Oh my god. What? What is this? What, dude? What kind of... This is just fan service, the sports anime. What in Arceus' name is this?
Nope, that's exactly what happened. The point is, we are not here for the masterful writing skills of the author. We are here to watch girls fight with their butts and using nonsensical abilities that make no sense, but are incredibly entertaining. And you know what? That is completely okay. Not all animes need to be a 10 out of 10 to be enjoyable. Sometimes a purely dumb premise that tries to take itself seriously and has a lot of fan service is all that we need to enjoy a show. And I can personally say that I was completely entertained. So, at the end of the anime, after beating the other school, they finally end up graduating, and they move on to the professional world, where they will be fighting against full-grown adults that will probably have weirder and lewder techniques. Unfortunately, the anime ends there, and with the manga finished in 2017, I personally don't think that we will see a world where we will get a second season. But if you're interested in knowing more about the story, you can always read the manga. For me, I personally felt that the anime filled all my interest in this story, and I can't imagine how further they can take this nonsensical power scaling. And honestly, I'm a bit afraid to find out. So, if you like sexy girls in swimsuits fighting each other with their butts, and you love fan service, then what are you waiting for? Keijo is the anime for you. And with that said, we come to the conclusion of this anime review. What do you guys thought of Keijo? Let me know in the comments below. Until then, see you guys.
She's so touched. Oh my. It's like if someone gave Issei from High School DxD creative control over a show and just went go crazy with it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Lord have mercy. What in this? What in good Lord's name was that? Same Senran, my boy. Oh, that was something. You know what? You know what, Astro? Shucky gives that vacation. We'll give that an 8 out of 10. We'll give that an 8. She massages everyone's ass at the end of their powers when she can borrow their drip straight from the fates. Ah, we'll give that an 8 out of 10. For instance. You know what, actually, we'll give it a 9. Because at least, as ridiculous as that premise is, the world's not getting hunted, the world's not getting destroyed, or people aren't dying. So at least it's a vacation place I could actually go in peace. Oh my god. Well, time for the next anime world. Let's and you can see. Let's see where the next. Let's see where we're going. Sword Art Online. Okay. The virtual world. Oh boy. Here we go.
This video contains spoilers.
The staycation. Yeah, the staycation of death. I guess.
Welcome to Sword Art Online.
Sword Art Online is the greatest game ever.
This the greatest game ever.
You are now all trapped until someone completes 100 floors.
Fuck.
Haha, most of you are actually guys. Oh, and if you die in here, you die in real life.
You, come with me. I need a comedic sidekick.
Actually, I think I could be an interesting character. Audiences would like to see more.
Shut up, Klein. Come back when you're a main character.
Poor Klein. I remember when I was in a coma. Well, I did feared for my life. Yes, that was also the era of Dot Heck Sign, if Shucky remembers, but poor Klein. He could have had so much more to do, but alas. He became sidelined for essentially the harem.
2 months have passed and 2,000 people have died.
Too many people have died, so your only objective of this raid is don't die.
Oh god, I'm dying.
Drink the potion.
This is it. I can tell this is the end.
Drink the goddamn potion.
Just tell my family I love them.
Will you just drink the potion already? Why didn't you drink the potion? Screw it, I'll do it myself.
Oh my god, I want his baby.
Who the hell is he?
I'm the Black Swordsman.
No, you're fucking not.
How the hell did he get so overpowered?
Shh, I'm not overpowered. Now I just need to find my generic love interest. Are you the right one?
I guess I could.
Are you the right one?
I'm like 12.
Are you the right one?
Jesus Christ!
Hedgehog in a quantum factory.
How about you, Tits McGee?
It's not like I like you or anything, you idiot bucka.
Perfect. Hi.
Hi.
You want to get married?
Okay.
You want to have sex?
Okay. Does this mean we can have children now?
God, I hope not.
2 globs of semen later. Oh my god. I mean, that's kind of how that pretty much went down in a nutshell. They hung out, they fought a monster, they almost died, and then they were like, you know what? How about we just get together for one nice night? Sure, it'll be great, right?
Here, Dell, look what I found.
You've got to be fucking kidding me.
Can we keep it?
No.
But I want one.
No.
Please.
No.
I'm not having sex with you for a month.
Fine, if you promise to feed it properly and take it for walks.
Are you my mama and papa? Yes.
No! Can we just go back to showing me being overpowered?
Standard anime plot, pretty much.
Shut up, Klein. Come back when you're a main character.
I didn't deserve that.
I'm gonna let you finish, Kirito, but I am the greatest SAO player of all time.
You wanna go? Fight me IRL, bro!
But Heathcliff wins.
Hacks! I got hacks!
What?
You're Kayaba Akihiko, aren't you?
What are you talking about?
Obviously, no one else can beat me at this game.
I commend you for figuring out the truth. Now fight me!
Oh shit, seriously? I was just talking out of my ass.
Whoopsie daisy.
Asuna, why?
Because that's the only useful thing I'm ever gonna do.
Oh!
I'm still gonna die, you stupid bitch!
Now you die.
You are dead.
Hacks mode on!
What? This doesn't even make sense.
GG no re.
Congratulations.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Him coming back to life after he already lost all, it still does not make any sense to me. When I look back on it now, just sitting there like, what? It's still, you're just still sitting there like, what? How? What is this shenanigans I'm seeing here?
On beating the game.
So, how come you wanted to trap thousands of people in this game?
I don't know.
Seems legit.
I'm gonna blow you so hard when we get out of here.
Jesus Christ!
You want me to blowjob?
I'm afraid she's not going to wake up.
Who are you?
I'm the new bad guy of this arc who's going to marry this girl.
Alright, put him in great face. Have fun getting dead fish the rest of your life.
Hi, I'm Incest.
Sorry, Incest. I'm not really interested right now. What am I supposed to do now?
Have you heard? There's a new RPG out.
Now's not the time for games. I have to figure out a way to save Asuna. Holy shit, you can fly? I'm so fucking on this!
What about saving Asuna?
Saving who?
You have black hair and you're really good at video games. Just like my brother.
You have very big breasts. Just like my sister.
Did I ever tell you I was in love with my brother?
Wow, it'd sure suck if I was your brother.
You're my brother?
I'm your brother?
Fuck!
Fuck!
I can't believe I fell in love with my brother.
Sugu, wait! Still might have a chance with me!
I'm instantly...
I still hate his sister cousin so much. Oh man, just the first half of season 1 was going so well. It was going so well, and then this storyline came in and it just threw it all in the trash. You're just like, oh, you ruined it. You ruined it.
Over. Let's play more video games. This final boss is impossible to beat.
Ha! Who the hell do you think I am?
What is he, a regular magical high school?
Alright, well, I guess second time's a charm.
This time with the power of friendship.
I'm actually just a pointless character.
Alright, I'm through. Now to get you out.
How do you plan to get us out?
By ripping off Berserk.
Oh.
Here again. Wait, how are you even here?
I don't know.
Seems legit. Hacks mode on!
What?
What?
How?
Kayaba.
Final battle. Fight.
Yeah, pretty much. What the? Is that it? Is it just silence?
Guess there's only one more thing to do.
What just happened there? Oh, you know what? They probably got hit with the dreaded copyright of silence. I've seen it.
Guess there's only one more thing to do. Play Sword Art Online again! Yeah!
Ugh, ugh. What's the deal with shonen anime? Because Astro, this is anime we're talking about. This is a world where they can have characters look like they're 12 years old, but in actuality they're 40. It shouldn't exist. But this is just what they're doing. I don't understand it. Irregular was so cool until I realized the sister I mean, Astro, to be fair, with Irregular at Magic High School, they made it pretty clear up front that his sister was into him from, like, the jump. They made that very clear from the start. And it's just like, oh man. But why? Because that's just what the people wanted. I don't know why, but, you know, everything else is so, yeah. And again, there's so many other options for people for him to be in love with, too. Actually, I think he's dating someone else in that show, but still, it was, you know, very clear what it was after. It's like, Anyway, SAO's getting a 1. We don't condone the incestuary behavior, but also just in the same breath, if I die in the video game, I die in real life. That's not a vacation. That's a prison you're trapped in. I don't need any of that. No. I came here to have a nice vacation, not to deal with whatever that's going on. Anyway, let's find a new place to go. Well, this does not look much better, unfortunately. Let's see. Or actually, yeah, here's one. Gundam Wing.
Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most iconic mecha series out there that never had an original manga, Gundam Wing. Now, before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications.
Let's activate super speed.
Now, without further ado, let's get it.
Alright, we gotta skip most of this.
Roberba Winner and Chang Wu-fei, each pilot a unique and powerful mobile suit known as a Gundam. These young pilots find themselves embroiled in a complex war between Earth and the space colonies. The mysterious and highly advanced mobile suits become instrumental in shaping the course of the conflict. Throughout the series, the Gundam pilots face moral dilemmas and internal struggle as they question the consequences of their actions. Their encounters with various factions and adversaries include the Oz organization and the secret society White Fang, which leads to intense battles and moments of self-discovery. Gundam Wing's narrative explores themes of war, peace, and the human cost of conflict. It dives deeper into the psychological impact on the pilots and the characters' motivations behind their respective missions. The series also introduces memorable supporting characters, each contributing to the intricate and engrossing plot. With its compelling story, stunning mobile suit battles, and well-developed characters, Gundam Wing remains a timeless classic in the realm of mecha anime. The series has left a lasting impact on fans worldwide and continues to be celebrated for its profound themes and captivating action. So, let's get into the story. In the year after Colony 195, tensions between the United Earth Sphere Alliance and the space colonies reached a boiling point. A group of rebels seeking to overthrow the authoritarian government hatched a daring plan known as Operation Meteor. 5 powerful mobile suits called Gundams were sent hurling towards Earth, each piloted by a skilled and determined young warrior. One of the Gundams, Wing Gundam, crashed into the Pacific Ocean after a fierce interception by Oz's ace pilot, Zex Marquise. Hiro Yu, the relentless and mysterious pilot of the Wing Gundam, crashed ashore and was found by Relena Darlian, daughter of the Vice Foreign Minister. Little did they know that their encounter would change the course of history. As Hiro struggled to decide whether to destroy Relena's shuttle to maintain his mission secrecy, he was ambushed by Zex. In a gravity-defying aerial battle, both Gundams collided and sank into the ocean, but fate had other plans, and Hiro survived, rescued by Relena. In a desperate attempt to escape, Hiro activated his self-destruct mechanism, only to be foiled by the ocean's saltwater. Later, Hiro found himself in an Alliance hospital, a captive of his enemies. Duo Maxwell, another Gundam pilot, rescued him, but Hiro began doubting if he should still be alive. However, Relena's unexpected intervention saved him, and he reluctantly spared her life, sparking a connection between the two. As Hiro struggled with his inner turmoil, he faced the dilemma of destroying his Wing Gundam to prevent it from falling into enemy hands. Duo's arrival and their confrontation led to injuries for both and ultimately landed Hiro in an Alliance hospital. Nevertheless, Hiro's determination remained unshaken, and he escaped, miraculously healing his broken leg without any assistance. Amidst the chaos, Foreign Minister...
Oh, of course, yes. Most of you know how to fix a broken leg, right? You just gotta grit your teeth and wedge the leg back into place, put on some nice surgical tape, and bam! Your leg will be back in place. Now, for me, this isn't usually a problem because the Shuckle has the ability to regenerate limbs. So the old noodle arms don't have this issue, but most humans don't really follow that. Warning, do not take these medical ideas that Shucky produces to you very seriously. If you do find yourself in a situation where your actual leg is in any pain or serious danger, please visit your local hospitals, as they are more equipped and trained to deal with these problems at hand. Please understand this beforehand. Don't take video game or shenanigan logic into real life. These things can be very dangerous and be very harmful to yourselves. Please understand that, and again, bro, Gundam Universe is either a 1 or a 10. No in between. It's either you were born on a warring planet in fear of battling a mech, or you were born on a peaceful planet with a speech. True, if I inject a random needle, I get video game banned to my hand. Unfortunately, Papa, that does not work in the realest of lives. It's unfortunately not how things work.
Darlian was assassinated by Oz, leaving Relena marked for death. She sought refuge with Dr. J, who revealed Hiro's mission to her. As Relena confronted Hiro, telling him she no longer saw him as an enemy, Oz targeted her school in an attempt to eliminate her. In a surprising twist, Hiro saved Relena, unable to harm her. The revelation of an Oz meeting at the New Edwards base became a turning point for Hiro, as he encountered more Gundam pilots, including Troa Barton and Quatre Winner. Events took a tragic turn. Oz's manipulation led to the Alliance declaring war on the colonies, leaving Hiro guilt-ridden and emotionally shattered. In the midst of chaos, Hiro learned that Oz planned to detonate missiles at the New Edwards base, targeting the Gundams. Determined to prevent further bloodshed, he courageously disarmed the missiles, becoming a pivotal force for peace. With emotions and tensions running high, Operation Meteor's impact on Earth and the colonies was profound. Hiro and his fellow Gundam pilots found themselves entangled in a complex web of alliances and rivalries. As their battles raged on, they each embarked on their own personal journey of self-discovery and redemption. In June after Colony 195, with this, Operation Meteor was in full swing, and Gundam pilots were carrying out their individual missions. Hiro received orders from Dr. J to destroy the new Taurus model headed for Oz's Siberian base. During the battle, Hiro crossed paths with Zex Marquise, who sought to test his Tallgeese suit against a formidable winged Gundam. However, the situation took a dangerous turn when Lady Yune threatened to use the Alliance's missile satellites to destroy the colonies unless the Gundam pilots surrendered. In a brave move, Dr. J offered his own surrender, but Hiro interpreted this as an order to self-destruct his Gundam to protect his fellow pilots. Sacrificing himself, Hiro set off the self-detonation device while standing on the wing's hatch. The dramatic explosion stunned Oz, giving the other Gundam pilots the opportunity to escape. Miraculously, Hiro survived the explosion thanks to Troa, who nursed him back to health during his coma. When Hiro regained consciousness, he sought penance for his actions at New Edwards by seeking out the families of the Alliance's pacifists. However, his course of redemption took a different turn when he met Lucrezia Noin, who offered him an invitation from Zex. The encounter led Hiro and Troa to Oz's base in Antarctica, where Zex had secretly rebuilt the winged Gundam for a rematch. During the confrontation, Relena intervened, where it was revealed that Zex was her brother, Millardo Peacecraft. After further encounters, Hiro, Duo, and the other Gundam pilots found themselves targeted by Oz, forcing Hiro to flee to space while adopting Duo's identity. In space, Hiro continued his fight against Oz, rescuing Duo and confronting the Gundam engineers held captive on the lunar base. He was eventually captured by Troa, who was undercover as an Oz cadet. Later, Hiro encountered the new Gundam, Wing Zero, piloted by a distraught Quatre, whose mind was affected by the Zero system. Oz's aggressive actions pushed Hiro and Quatre to the Sank Kingdom, where they found refuge and support. Initially, Hiro was reluctant to embrace the nation's ideals, but eventually agreed to protect the Sank Kingdom using the Wing Gundam. However, he broke his promise to stay away from battles and took part in a crucial conflict to assist the Treasy faction. After facing Treze himself, Hiro received a new mobile suit, the Gundam Epion, which came equipped with the overwhelming Zero system. Despite his power, the system pushed Hiro to the brink of madness during battles. As the conflict intensified, Hiro and Zex, now piloting Wing Zero, faced off once again, both driven to the edge by the Zero system. With the situation reaching its climax, the rivals parted ways, and Hiro found himself back at the controls of Wing Zero, ready to face the challenges ahead. The fate of Earth and the colonies remained uncertain as Operation Meteor continued to unfold, leaving the Gundam pilots with difficult choices and an uncertain future in the wake. In the midst of the rising power of the space-born rebels known as White Fang, Hiro was faced with a crucial decision. Tasked with assassinating Relena, who had become the new chief representative and queen, Hiro had a change of heart upon hearing Relena's speech about transforming the nation into a peaceful one. Moved by her vision, Hiro spared Relena and left with the opportunity to fulfill her aspirations. Hiro then joined forces with Sally Poe and Peace Million, the spaceship crafted by the Gundam engineers, as they headed back to space. Having mastered the Zero system, Hiro lent Wing Zero to Wu Fei and Troa, inspiring Wu Fei to join the other Gundam pilots and helping Troa regain his memories through the Zero system. In response to White Fang's use of the Zero system to control their mobile doll forces, Hiro integrated part of the Zero system into Quatre's Gundam Sandrock, bolstering his abilities. Upon learning that Relena was held captive on White Fang's space station, Libra, Duo, and Hiro embarked on a rescue mission. However, their encounter with Zex, Relena's brother, failed to sway him from his destructive plans. Despite this, Hiro, piloting Wing Zero, engaged Zex in an intense duel spanning Libra's airspace and interior. Eventually, word of a peace agreement reached them, and Hiro spared Zex out of respect for Relena, leaving him to destroy Libra's main power system. Unfortunately, Libra was still set on a collision course with Earth, posing a grave threat with Wing Zero depleted of energy and ammunition. With Wing Zero depleted of energy and ammunition, Hiro faced with a difficult choice, self-destructing his Gundam to prevent catastrophe. However, before he could act, Zex intervened, acknowledging Hiro's strength and empathy. Zex used Epion to sacrifice himself, destroying the power core and ensuring Earth's safety, while promising to meet Hiro again. Nevertheless, a portion of Libra continued its descent toward Earth, capable of causing an eternal winter on the planet. Unyielding, Hiro flew into the upper atmosphere with Wing Zero's Buster rifle to destroy the falling section. In a profound moment, who only cared about the mission and not about his own life, declared his determination to survive this ordeal. His time with Relena had given him the will to live and something new that he found worth protecting. With the Earth saved, Earth and the colonies came together to form the Earth Sphere Unified Nation once the conflict was over, and Relena assumed the position of Vice Foreign Minister in an effort to keep the peace after reclaiming her Darlian identity. And that is the end of Gundam Wing. So, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and slap the bell notification icon so you never miss another update. Until next time, peace.
Well, that was a interesting history lesson about war. But that's still getting a 0. Because the only 0 out of 10 so far. Because Similar to what Astro said, you're either going to be living on a war-torn planet, or you're going to be one of those rich, fancy people. Like, there's not really a between here. That's not a vacation place I ever want to see. War changes people. But on to our next place. Unless you like getting stepped on, I guess. Let's find a new vacation home. Also, let's add some more vacation homes to the list. While I can think of some on my head. Let's see. Let's see. We've already done Assassin, we've already done Gundam, and Clover, and Naruto. Let's see here. War never changed. And you are correct, it does not. Let's see, what else can we add to this? I did not add ghost stories. Let's see. You know what? We'll add free rent in there. Let's see. How about... let's see. Welcome, Rez. You know what? Of course, we'll have to add the Sailor Moons in there. But yes, welcome to the Shucky vacation. If you would like to add a suggestion to the list, or for us to go there right now, one sub will send us to a new location, a new vacation spot. Shucky is essentially going on vacation, and we're trying to find the best vacation spot there is. So we're just trying to send me on a nice vacation. So far, the best vacation spots are either Assassination Classroom or Kago. So let's see where we're going next. Solita. Thought to be considered a top 2. Well,
welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most underrated series out there, Soul Eater.
Soul Eater. I've heard many a tale of this world too.
One soul of a witch to turn soul into a legendary item known as a death scythe. The two seek out the witch blade.
Souls were instant 10 for vacation.
Hey yo! What is he doing?
Damn, son.
During the battle, Soul tricks Blair into thinking he wants to abandon Maka and become her weapon instead, allowing Maka to take her soul. Unfortunately, nothing happens when Soul eats it, as Blair turns out to be just a magical cat rather than an actual witch. To make up for the souls they failed to collect, Maka, Soul, along with their classmates Blackstar and Tsubaki, all students of Death Weapon Meister Academy, aka DWMA, take a remedial class together under the threat of expulsion if they fail. They are sent to a graveyard to fight Sid Barrett, their former teacher and Meister who had been turned into a zombie. Maka and Soul attempt to perform their soul resonance, Witch Hunter, but are unable to control it, leaving Blackstar to subdue Sid with Tsubaki's chain. With Sid captured, Lord Death reveals the one who turned Sid into a zombie to be Dr. Stein, the most powerful Meister to ever graduate from Death Weapon Meister Academy. Maka, Soul, Blackstar, and Tsubaki face off against Stein, who quickly proves his skills and nearly kills Blackstar. Following Blackstar's defeat, Maka catches sight of Stein's immense soul with her soul perception ability, and despairs over how his power vastly surpasses her own. Soul convinces her to keep fighting, and the two perform their soul resonance perfectly. But it isn't enough to defeat Stein. Afterward, Stein reveals that the entire fight had been set up by Lord Death.
Oh yes, I have heard that Fire Force is essentially the prequel to Soul Eater. It was an interesting thing for Shucky to learn. But it now all makes sense. Sort of. The world sort of all clings together in a nice little web.
Death for the remedial class, which they passed. Following this, Maka and Soul go to Italy. Once they finish their mission, Maka senses stronger soul activity coming from a church and decides to investigate. She and Soul encounter Krona, a Meister of the demon sword Ragnarok, who resides within Krona's body in the form of black blood. Just when Maka and Soul are about to be killed by Krona, Stein and Maka's father, Death Scythe, appear to save them, but Krona is rescued by the witch Medusa. The students and staff of the DWMA gather for a party celebrating the anniversary of the Academy, giving Medusa the perfect chance to carry out her ultimate plan, as to revive the Kishin sleeping beneath the Academy. During the festivities, Stein confronts Medusa to ascertain her plot, before Sid arrives to warn everyone. Medusa escapes to launch an assault throughout Death City with the assistance of her minions. Free traps everyone in his independent cube. Nevertheless, Sid allows Maka, Blackstar, Kid Death, and their respective weapon partners, as well as Stein, to escape. The group of heroes then follows Medusa underneath the city, where they make their final preparations to stop her. Kid Death goes further ahead to pursue Free and Eureka, who possess the black blood intended to awaken the Asura. Blackstar attempts to engage Krona in combat, but Maka, seeking revenge, convinces Blackstar to catch up to and assist Kid Death, while she fights Krona instead. Maka already discusses with Soul her intention to use the black blood's power to gain the same madness Krona has, hoping it will allow her to reach some understanding about Krona's wavelength. Soul relents and allows Maka to slip into madness, promising to pull her out of it before it's too late. Maka is overtaken by madness, allowing her to overpower Krona, but also to match her soul's wavelength with Krona's and see Krona's true will. Maka determines that the source behind Krona's madness is the neglect he suffered as a child under Medusa. Maka's contact with Krona's will throws Krona's soul into chaos, and Soul successfully pulls Maka from her madness. Maka then comforts Krona, purifying Krona's soul. Asura then emerges from underground, but without a weapon. Lord Death unfortunately lacks the power necessarily to properly fight Asura this time around, who flee to spread his madness across the world. Maka and Marie try to help Krona adapt to life as a DWMA student, with little success. Later, Maka and Krona are assigned by Lord Death to investigate an incident in a Czech village involving a berserk golem. They encounter a man named Giriko, who turns out to be an insane weapon involved with the golem. Maka and Krona struggle to defeat him and the golem, while Stein discovers a certain heretic soul inside of the golem. The soul reveals herself as Arcane, a witch that was defeated by Lord Death in the past and had to hide herself in that golem to escape. As Giriko easily beats up Krona and is ready to finish them off, Justin Law, a powerful Death Scythe, appears and confronts him, leaving Arcane with no choice but to run away with Giriko. The golem stays behind to slow them down, but Justin easily finishes it off. A small man named Mosquito brings Arcane and Giriko into a small hideout, where she, along with all of her minions, swears to defeat Lord Death. The DWMA and the group of villains, now calling themselves Arachnophobia, are imminent to engage in combat over the magical tool Brew. Sid and his team will contain Arachnophobia, while Stein and his group attempt to recover Brew. Shortly after landfall, Sid's team is ambushed by Melfune's Arachnophobia squad. The skirmishes between the DWMA and Arachnophobia eventually end, and Maka, Blackstar, and Kid Death meet Marie and a maddened Stein inside the field. Because their bodies have reached the limit, Stein and Marie are forced to leave the field, while the others proceed to locate Brew. They encounter Mosquito, who claims to have Brew in his possession. He then reverts his body into a stronger form from centuries ago. Blackstar and Maka begin attacking, and Mosquito easily overpowers Maka, Blackstar, and Kid Death, until a little demon called Ogre, a manifestation of Soul's mind that appears due to his encounter with Krona's black blood sword, Ragnarok, convinces Soul to play the piano within his soul, which leads to the dual arts resonance link. Maka, Blackstar, and Kid Death gain an excessive amount of power due to Soul playing this piano for Little Demon, and have completed the dual arts resonance link. After turning the tables on Mosquito, they all finish him off with their soul resonances. First, Blackstar uses Shadow Star, Checkmate Slash, Kid Death uses Death Cannon, and finally, Maka uses a new attack called Genie Hunter. However, Mosquito manages to escape, resulting in the DWMA's mission failing once again. Meanwhile, the real Brew is delivered to Medusa, who also reveals that the snake planted in Marie speeds up Stein's madness. At the DWMA, everyone assigned on the Brew mission is depressed about their defeat against Arachnophobia. Meanwhile, Krona learns of Stein's maddened state and feels guilty for causing it. Maka is confused due to the decisions recently taken by the DWMA, which is preparing for a huge battle against Arachnophobia, to defeat it along with Asura and destroy the 6 madness amplifiers. Blackstar continues to advance to Baba Yaga's castle. Meanwhile, Krona and Marie manage to find Medusa's hideout and battle with her and a maddened Stein. Krona struggles in the battle with Medusa, but when she moves in to deliver the killing blow, Maka arrives in the nick of time to intercept the attack. Maka, Krona, and Marie continue their battle with Medusa and Stein, but are being overwhelmed. Medusa then moves in to finish off Maka, but Krona pushes her out of the way and takes the full force of Medusa's Vector Blade, leaving Krona greatly injured and seemingly dead. Enraged at the apparent death of her friend, Maka is consumed by the madness and attacks Medusa in a frenzied rage, but Stein comes to her defense. Taking advantage of the opening, Marie uses her healing wavelength on Stein and Maka, saving them from madness. Stein and Marie then distract Medusa, while Maka and Soul use the opportunity to attack with their Genie Hunter, finally defeating Medusa. Stein then tells Maka that Krona is not dead and will make a full recovery, then leaves to take the unconscious back to Death City. Kid Death returns to Death City, and Lord Death is now ready to explain the purpose of the magic tool, revealing that the final tool contains Ebon's soul, needed to operate Brew, and that Ebon once served as one of Lord Death's 8 warriors in the past. Meanwhile, as the DWMA approach Baba Yaga's castle, Ebon finally puts the function of Brew to work and unlocks its power. Soul accidentally pushes himself too far and is devoured by the black blood of the little demon. With Soul the only one who can help him do a dual resonance link, down for the count, Maka goes to bring Soul back, with Blackstar and Kid Death protecting her, and after crossing a long corridor she finds Soul, who closes the door behind her. Meanwhile, Krona recovers from the previous battle's injuries. Justin Law then convinces Giriko to retreat, and everyone else outside of the barrier is forced to do nothing but place their hopes in Maka, Blackstar, and Kid Death. Blackstar and Kid Death battle Asura with almost no results. Determined to avenge his father and protect the world, Kid tries to charge up, but Ashura stabs him and Kid collapses to the ground. Seemingly dead, Kid Death's eyes suddenly fill with a blue light as the lines of Sanzu, the white stripes in Kid's hair, activate and his soul becomes extremely powerful as his death cannon powers up. While Ashura is distracted by this, Blackstar takes advantage of the opening and knocks down Ashura, allowing the empowered Kid Death to attack. However, Kid faints, and Ashura shrinks down to normal size. Meanwhile, Maka is locked in a room with Soul, telling her to open a box containing his courage, in which Soul's voice comes out from the box claiming to be the real Soul, who sealed himself to prevent the madness from reaching him. However, Maka, knowing her partner too well, is aware that the soul with her is actually Little Demon, who states to be a part of Soul now. Risking being devoured by the black blood while promising to save him, she decides to open a locked box and successfully saves him from darkness. The two of them return to the battle to find everyone else laying unconscious, and Asura is still undefeated. Maka and Soul are the only ones left standing against Asura. Believing that Maka's Genie Hunter is the only one that can combat Asura, her strength and determination upgrades her ultimate attack to Kishin Hunter. But Asura easily shatters the attack and regenerates, and proceeds to issue his own attacks, one of which is blocked by Soul, and for which Maka takes the full hit to protect Soul's unconscious body. As Asura believes Maka is finally defeated, her weapon blood awakens, and she unconsciously continues attacking. But Asura still easily takes her down and forces her weapon blood to concede by waking her up with pain. Meanwhile, Krona tells everyone that Maka's true strength comes from her heart and not a technique. As Asura tells Maka that all hope for her is lost, she and the others who recover from their unconscious state reply that true strength comes from bravery. Asura, who does not understand what bravery is, then begins succumbing to fear. Afraid, Asura weakly tries to deny Maka's advances, but...
Now, this is where this show just kind of takes a complete 180 into what the is going on. Because one of the whole main things the show was putting forward was the whole teamwork idea. So, for the final fight to just boil down to just Maka versus Kishin, it's definitely one of those things where you just sit there like, what happened? And I'll tell you what happened. The anime decided to go its own ending, going against the source material, and here we are. And you're just sitting there like, oh no. But, you know, what are you gonna do?
His attempts are futile when she punches him straight in the face. Realizing that bravery is just like madness, Asura explodes, cleansing the world of his madness, once and for all. However, Kid Death fears the rebirth of another Kishin. Maka remains confident as everyone has bravery in their hearts. And thus concludes the series of Soul Eater. And that's it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, slap the bell icon so you never miss any updates, and until next time, peace.
Okay, well, that was a lesson. If I had to put this in a vacation spot theme, I'd probably put this somewhere in the middle. Like, there's still people hunting souls, death, and madness, but there's some peace between the so I'm just gonna put this in the middle somewhere. As I'm not really sure what where to land this bit of chaos. But let's find out where our next vacation home is. Let's let's spin that crazy wheel. Spin! Oh boy. We've got ghost stories. Oh boy. Well...
I have a small list written down on a piece of scrap paper somewhere of shows that I would like to get around to review, but just haven't yet for whatever reason. Well, Ghost Stories recently got a re-release, so let's just go and checkmark that one off, shall we? Because you know how every once in a while you come across this show that you think is so good that you just have to tell everyone you know about it? And usually what I mean by so good is that there's only just one part of it that is good. Just this one thing that you feel is so noteworthy, you have to tell everyone about it. You feel as if you almost have to force it on them because they just have to witness this. Even if that one thing just happens to be how monumentally horrible the show is. Today we're going to be talking about a series that is, well, absolutely horrible. Well, no. Horrible doesn't fully explain the crap that is this show, at least from a story perspective. But the show is still noteworthy, not for how bad the show is, and it is bad, but for how good the dub is. Now, you might be asking me right now, Arcada, how good could a dub for a bad show actually be? Like, wouldn't it just be translating that badness? You are correct in that normally a dub cannot make a crap story better. But this here would be a very special case. Ladies, gentlemen, and others, my name is Arcada, and welcome to Class Reflection today. Oh boy. Ghost stories. Let's jam. Actually, no, because of the uniqueness of this particular show, we're actually going to skip forward to the end, the part where I normally talk about the dub, then backtrack. Okay? That's what we're going to do. And away we go! So I can't say that I know the exact details of how this particular dub came into being. All I can tell you is that it is amazing. Like, I know I've already said that a few times, I've insinuated it a few times, but it really is true.
Which way did he go? Now we'll never find out who the ghost is. I hope Padre adopted.
From what I've been able to gather from rumors in that one Q&A video between Greg Aries and Vic Mignogna, when ADV ended up licensing the show, they were told by the Japanese owners that it wasn't very well received in Japan and that they would have to work with the material in order to make it sell. Not surprising considering that the show is, to put it lightly, a sack of dog shit that's been sitting out far too long in the summer heat on black pavement that bores a hole all the way down to hell using its stench alone. And yeah, that is me putting it lightly. So after being told that they needed to work with it a bit, they were given a very small set of rules. No name changing, this includes both the main characters and the ghosts that they banish, and also they cannot change the method in which the ghosts are banished. Other than that, everything else is fair game, and let me tell you, those two rules are not very limiting. Enter Stephen Foster and the voice actors. Now, normally I am one to criticize Stephen Foster because historically I'm not a fan of the dubs that he works on. They're just not my cup of tea. But basically what they had was a writing team and a bunch of voice actors who, at first, seemed to be translating everything normally.
Sasuke, get back in here. You'll get your head cut off.
Oh, Dad, you worry too much.
At the beginning, everything makes sort of sense, but there's those one or two lines that make you do a double take.
When this bitch kicks, I'm moving to Vegas.
Then some characters get introduced and you question their backstory.
You're such brave, strong, handsome men. Have you accepted Jesus as your personal savior?
No, I'm Jewish.
And then about 8 or 9 episodes in, they really don't seem to care anymore.
No, perfect. It's in Japanese. Jingzhou no ning dao. Wait, that's Chinese. Luckily, I can read barricade.
It gets to the point where they might have just thought, you know, hey, as long as I'm able to match the lip flap, who cares?
Hey, put the donuts down! Drop the Krispy Kreme Serpico! We need your help here!
The best way to describe this show, or rather this dub, to someone that hasn't seen it is basically to just say, hey, have you ever watched an abridged series? You know, those videos on the internet that guys put together to quote-unquote shorten shows, but really they just make it very humorous by adding jokes that weren't in the original translation or anything like that? Yeah, this is kind of an official abridged series, except it's not actually abridging anything. It's the full show with more like a fan dub.
Think of a big black man chasing you!
Oh my. Oh man. It's just that part, it kills me every time I see it. Oh. This, for those who have never seen Ghost Stories, please, you'll have to check it out. It's a Shucky recommendation, because oh my god. So, it's just so funny. Oh man. Because let me just tell you're never gonna get a show like that ever again. Like, it's not gonna happen. They're not gonna get that much creative freedom to make something like that. Oh.
Well, he's not racist.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to the beginning of the review now. Just keep in mind that some of the things that I may say about the show's story and characters might actually be taken from this rather absurd dub and not the original article. But considering that the original Japanese isn't really worth watching, and you can quote me on that, I don't think many of you are going to mind. Anyway, and away we go! So there is not too much to this, but I'll go over it anyway. The show starts with a group of young elementary school children, two of which are new in town, whose mother used to be a student and principal at their new school. Now, because they own a dumb cat that likes to run off into creepy buildings, they end up trapped in the old quote-unquote haunted schoolhouse after some less than tasteful panty jokes. Inside said schoolhouse, they awaken and piss off the resident evil spirit, Amanojaku, who begins rampaging and trying to kill them. Thankfully, the lead character Satsuki finds an old journal of her mother's that conveniently happens to have all the instructions on how to banish ghosts. They set up a trap, say some voodoo, and bing bang boom, ghost defeated. Now take that episode plot, rinse out all the gunk, and repeat. Each new episode is like a Japanese version of Scooby-Doo, or some such, as there is this new ghost that is terrorizing everything, or at least just causing general mischief, and it's up to our young group of main characters to go about banishing said ghost, and then everyone is happy. I'd say in concept that the show is interesting, but most of the stories of these ghosts are just cliche takes on traditional haunting stories that you may have heard if you ever did a camp out as a child and someone decided that they would tell you said stories by the campfire. Really though, from the base show I've explained more or less all of it. There are no major character or story arcs, no end-of-the-world scenarios, just a standard Monster of the Week series with a group of fairly average elementary school students and one high school student who is a born-again Christian, and before that she was really fucked up. But that's from the dub. In reality, the characters are boring, generic, and in some cases I wonder what they're even doing there for the most part, as they are all seemingly thrown together through happenstance. Half the time the characters don't even fathom to think that the supernatural happenings are ghost-related, because if they did, Satsuki would just pop out the journal in Act 1 and everything would be solved right there. Instead, things get drawn out until we have a climax where they suddenly remember that the MacGuffin of a journal actually exists.
What'll we do? Okay, I'm sorry. When are you going to need another dramatic plot point until you decide to whip out that damn ghost book?
I guess from a historical standpoint, it is somewhat interesting, as every ghost is based off of an actual spirit or legend from Japan, sometimes from China, but if that's what you're into, there just has to be a better place to get information from. There just has to be. So the series originally aired at the end of the year 2000, finishing early 2001. That being said, comparing it to other anime of the time, it really isn't all that remarkable. Let me just throw out some shows that were around at about that time. Digimon Adventure, Excel Saga, Angelic Lair, Fruits Basket, and that's not even counting all the extremely well-produced shows from the 90s. The only animation portion that I thought was actually pretty good was the use of 3D animation. Now, by today's standards, it isn't that remarkable, but I don't recall anything from this era being as well integrated. So there's a nice positive point about the original. There is nothing noteworthy from the soundtrack at all from this show, unfortunately, and sound-wise, they even go so far to use that overly cliched string sound effect for scary moments. The opening and ending songs, however, deserve note for how much sense they do not make. Even ignoring the differences from the dub, the opening seems like it's for a more happy slice of life series with its upbeat tone, rather than one about ghost hunting. And man, the ending song, it's called Sexy Sexy, in a show about elementary school children and ghosts. What's supposed to be sexy about that? Like, when I first heard it, I honestly thought it was added in with the dub. But no, the original creators of the original show thought it was prudent to have a song called Sexy Sexy in a show starring 4th graders. Smooth. If you haven't guessed what my verdict here is going to be, then you haven't been paying attention. Ghost Stories is this horrible, horrible mess that's only saving grace is this out-of-this-world dub that saves it from being not even worth mentioning. Like, it feels like an abridged series, and ignoring the fact that it doesn't actually abridge anything, it might as well be one, considering the kind of humor that it contains. And at this point, I can't really say anything else to try and convince you that this series, or rather, this dub, is worth your time. Because if you did watch the show, you're watching it for the dub and nothing else. And if you can pick up this show, you definitely should. And if after watching this video you try it and you don't enjoy it, I'll be seriously surprised. It gets really good at episode 9, if you can stick it out that long. Unless, of course, you're one of those purists who think that this sort of thing is an abomination, because it changes the original Japanese material. And if you are that kind of person, well, get out. No, don't actually get out. Come back. Don't get out. But still, that's just like your opinion, man. With all that in mind, I present Ghost Stories with a recommendation to buy it rather than stream, because, well, you can't stream it even if you wanted to. No Certified Frosty this time, however, as good of a dub as it is, the show itself is still crap, and I have some semblance of standards. Some. Anyways, at the time of this video, Ghost Stories has been licensed by Discotech Media in North America and is available on DVD from them. Unfortunately, that is the only way to watch it, as it is, like I mentioned, not available for legal streaming anywhere. Sorry about that. As for alternate anime recommendations, well, there is really only one series I can think of off the top of my head that is as funny as this one is, dub-wise. That show, of course, being Full Metal Panic Fumofu. Fun fact about that one is that the dub casts between Fumofu and Ghost Stories are more or less identical. Fumofu just has a lot more Lucy Christian in it. Also, if you're looking for an actual show about a variety of traditional Japanese ghost stories, then look no further than Ghost Hunt, which is basically that. Just do yourself a favor and skip the opening song for it. It'll bore you to tears. But hopefully between those two shows, you should hopefully find something to your liking. And that's it for me. Please subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Follow me on Twitter if you feel so inclined. And hey, if you like what I do here and feel like helping out, please consider going and checking out my Patreon page. And if you feel it within your heart, also consider donating. Very special thanks to Jocelyn Atkins, Daniel Nye, Joshua Garcia, Grace Anderson, Nikolai Gray, Lulika Adachi, and Just a Human for donating already. You guys are all supremely awesome. Thank you. And until next time, ladies, gentlemen, and others, stay frosty.
Well, if I had to rank this in terms of where Shucky would vacation, maybe a 4. Not a fan of Ghosts, but it's still. You know what? No, I'll rank it higher. I'll rank it higher. I at least boost it up to a 6 because there's no. You could just leave this town and bypass the whole ghost problem as a whole. So. That could easily bypass a lot of problems here. Anyway, time to spin that crazy wheel. Where are we going now? Spin the wheel! Ooh!
Leg or whipping him. So he actually whips you 3 times.
Alright,
so
bend over. What the fuck?
Okay.
I don't like this weird. Alright, what the is going on?
Draw your last pathetic card so I can end this, Yugi. My grandpa's deck has no pathetic cards, Kaiba.
Harsha.
But it does.
I don't want to.
Well, this seems a bit excessive.
Kenosha. I spent 3 more months with my baby boy. And now they're gone because of your bull. Way to go, dumbass.
But, welcome to the Shucky vacation, Kiba. The way it works is we've been given anime locations to go visit, and we're headed there to see which is the best vacation home that we can enjoy, as well as learning about anime. We visited the realm of Yu-Gi-Oh!, Black Clover, Naruto, Assassin Classroom, Keigo, Sword Online, Gundam Wing, Soul Eater, Ghost Stories. So now we're visiting the realm of Duel Masters. So, if you're thinking this is just another Yu-Gi-Oh! Realm, I wouldn't think that. Guess I found it. A broken tooth. Almost a year? Oh, T-Fark, no! It's terrible. It's I'm sorry, pal. Terrible indeed. I'm sorry, that sounds terrible. It didn't hurt, so I never. Strange. Very strange.
Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most controversial trading card franchises out there that was a ripoff of another card game, and no, I'm not talking about Yu-Gi-Oh!
Oh!
Never got a real dub, Duel Masters. We'll get into the insanity of it all in a bit.
Oh, wait a minute. So, if Duel Masters wasn't a ripoff of Yu-Gi-Oh!, what was it a ripoff of? Was it Magic the Gathering? Is that what it was a ripoff of? Now I'm curious to know the answer.
Begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a video. Let's...
I mean, not actual rebuttal, but you know what I mean. What actually spawned this idea?
Koro Koro Comic Magazine on November 27, 1999. 3 years later, the trading card game was released in Japan in May 2002, where it quickly became the #1 selling trading card game for over a year in Japan. Owing to this popularity, it was released in the United States on March 5, 2004. The game shares several similarities with Magic the Gathering, the world's first card game. In fact, Duel Masters was originally intended as an alternative trade name for Magic the Gathering. The earlier gameplay was, in fact, about Magic the Gathering.
Now,
trade name for Magic the Gathering. The manga's
this was the manga I think I was telling Kiba about. That it was literally just Magic the Gathering. This was what I was talking about. Not Duel Masters, mind you, but just this actual like frame is from the manga. Honestly, it's been very enjoyable to read.
Earlier gameplay was, in fact, about Magic the Gathering. The manga was later updated and adapted into an anime, first premiered in Japan on October 21st, 2002, and ran until December 2nd, 2003, for 26 episodes, eventually coming to North America on Cartoon Network in the USA and YTV in Canada in 2004. This initial series captured the hearts of viewers with its thrilling duels and the adventures of our protagonist, Shobu Kirifuda, as he strives to become a champion Duel Masters player. So, let's get into the story. The Temple of Duels are. Before his friend's father warns them, Shobu Kirifuda, who is getting ready for the Duel Masters tournament, almost misses it. In the championship round, Joe Seonji, who uses 2 different decks of cards, cheats, despite Joe's defenses, taking first place in the competition. The following day, a mysterious figure named Knight challenges Shobu to a duel. Shobu first has concerns about Knight's abilities, but he accepts the test. Shobu first struggles in the battle, but then recalls his father's counsel to have confidence in himself. He gathers his strength and engages Knight in combat, demonstrating his prowess and tenacity in the game. Knight eventually prevails against him, though, with the Light Civilization card, Holy Awe. After that, Shobu is discouraged, but is given support by his mother and friends. Shobu later meets Mimi, a fresh student who enjoys Duel Masters as well. Moving ahead, the temple sends Toru to confront Shobu, but Kokuju interrupts their combat and wins, replacing Toru in the fight with Shobu. Shobu grows discouraged after losing to Kokujo, and decides to learn the Dark Civilization cards in order to beat him again. When Shobu accepts Knight's offer to compete in a junior tournament, a new duelist called Takeshi Serioma challenges him right away and easily beats him. Then, Takeshi arranges for Shobu and Tsuyoshi Serioma to square up. Hakuo and Toban Jan compete in a special demonstration bout before the main event. Tom hosts the opening of the first Duel Masters Battle Arena Junior Tournament and introduces the 16 competitors. The first time they face up, Toru easily defeated by Tsuyoshi by using his formidable animals to overwhelm his defenses. The Master of the Temple grants Jamira, who had previously cheated but is now seeking atonement, a chance to fight Shobu after he uses cunning card moves to overcome his opponent. Shobu, in contrast, wins all of his fights with ease. As the preliminary rounds come to a close, Shobu squares off against Jamira in the semifinals, while Toru wins his match and advances to face Shobu. The ultimate fight between Shobu Kirifuda and Toru Kamiya is about to begin. Prior to entering the stage, both competitors face challenges. Shobu was delayed by stomachache brought on by beverages that Jamira gave him, but Knight prevents his deck from being stolen. Shobu and Toru show up there just as the judges are ready to adjourn the competition. Shobu places Brawler Xyler in his mana zone to start the fight, and then Toru deploys Aqua Vehicle. As the game goes on, Shobu defeats Toru's shields. Ultimately, Shobu defeats Toru and captures the championship, securing an entrance to the temple using potent cards like Fatal Attacker Horvath and Bolshak Dragon. When Shobu and his companions go to a brand new duel center, they encounter an enigmatic guy who gives them directions to the temple, where Hakuo is waiting. Shobu enters by answering questions about his deck, and he is given a token system in which winning duels gives him tokens, and losing ones requires him to give up a token. To duel Hakuo, he requires 50 tokens. In the meantime, Shobu's buddies see the details of his deck written on the wall, revealing his flaws. Shobu now has 3 tokens left. Fritz the Goblin then admits that the temple is biased towards Hakuo when Mimi confronts him about all of the shenanigans that have been going on. Despite a string of defeats, however, Shobu never gives up. Shobu's deck is augmented by Mimi, who uses his father's tactic. As soon as Shobu has 50 tokens, he is allowed entry to the upper chambers, where he may start practicing for his combat with Hakuo. Shobu and his companions go to the temple to confront Hakuo. Shobu is then challenged by Hakuo, who they discover in disguise. Hakuo is suddenly revealed to be Kintaro as a bird exposes his wig. Shobu accepts the challenge that Kintaro makes. Kintaro is defeated by Shobu, and Hakuo offers for him to join his gang, but Kintaro is exiled from the temple. Shobu is taken aback when Mimi, the second temple protector, is revealed. Their fight gets more intense despite his underestimating her, and the master uses mind control to control Mimi's behavior at a critical point in the duel. When Shobu enters the 4th Guardian's room, Kokujo is already there. In the form of a hologram, Hakuo offers a deal. If Shobu beats Kokujo, he may go up against Hakuo. The duelists agree to take on the task, and as their beasts come to life, Shobu and Kokuju face off, with Shobu being the winner. Eventually, Shobu and Hakuo begin their final battle, and Bolshak Dragon is called forth by Shobu, but Mikuni cautions that Earth's might negate it. Shobu questions why he wasn't told, and Shobu summons Rumblegate and engages in combat with Hakuo's monsters. By protecting Shobu from the master's onslaught, Hakuo strengthens their bond. Infuriated, the master departs while announcing a fresh start. Kokujo accepts Shobu's invitation invitation to a rematch, drawing interest from other parkgoers, and Shobu inspires pride in Shori. Shobu then competes in a regional event against a smaller duelist named George. George, though, kidnaps Shobu so they can fight in the woods. Meanwhile, Shobu's buddies Iron Matty and Knight look for him on the highway and in the city. Shobu learns throughout the fight that George's animals are survivors, which support one another in becoming stronger. After losing to Dr. Root, Shobu strives to improve his duelist abilities, but he encounters a new difficulty when he begins to hear voices from his monster cards. It is at this point where North American and Japanese audiences watched extremely different season 2s of Duel Masters. Confusing, I know, but let me explain. Only the first Japanese season was localized for the North American market. Scholastic Media specifically created their own season 2 called Duel Masters Sacred Lands in America, which is considered by all fans to not be canon, while Japan got the real Duel Masters charge. Consisting of 52 more episodes. 52? America Season 2 picked up right where Season 1 ended. The canon version begins 3 years after the events of Season 1, with Shobu having spent the last several years training under Dr. Root. So, for continuity's sake, let's jump in to the real Duel Masters Charge.
Oh! So, Shucky has been deceived. So the Duel Masters that Shucky grew up with, only half of it was canon. The rest was just, wasn't even, oh. I've been deceived. The greatest deception. Oh.
Thus, we get into the Battle Arena arc. Rakuta is lonely at the local competition since his pal Shobu, who has been abroad for 3 years training with Dr. Root, isn't there. Rakuta is about to give up when Knight intervenes and tells him about the opportunity to compete in the Duel Masters Battle Arena tournament. Among the competitors, the mystery hooded gang, 4 expert duelists stick out. The shrouded duelists Mimi, Hakuo, and Boy George are revealed to be Shobu's buddies as the competition goes on. The final shrouded member, Shobu, suffers in his battle but prevails thanks to his newly acquired talents. Shobu and his pals triumph, and Dr. Root is revealed to be the enigmatic observer. The team gets ready to compete in the Battle Arena tournament, where they will face off against the Robbie Rotten-led Black Soldiers, a rival team. In the opening maze of the qualifications, Mikuni competes against Robbie Rotten, a cheater who uses a phone to guide him. As the fight goes on, Mikuni is defeated by Robbie Rotten's sneak attacks. Robbie Rotten is still trying to challenge Hakuo, and Shobu and Mimi have yet to participate.
It's about time.
The Duel Masters Battle Arena tournament has a number of important happenings. Mikuni gets eliminated from the competition as Shobu and Mimi become trapped in a maze. A powerful team known as the Black Soldiers defeats several expert duelists, including former tournament winners, and as they compete with other duelists, the Black Soldiers' strength is put to the test. Boy George proves to be a powerful opponent as well, taking down over 20 duelists, including some Black Soldiers members. Shobu's buddies have not yet begun their duel though, and Boy George succeeds in escaping the maze and ends up triumphant in conquering multi-card Monty. Mimi then faces off against a duelist named Akakan by following a card trail. Shobu, who is still disoriented, comes upon a blocked passage but chooses to take a different route. From outside the stadium, Knight finds that the Black Soldiers are lying and assisting their team, but Shobu's surprising maneuvers drive them into a battle. Knight captures the offenders and stresses that only talent, not trickery, can genuinely win duels. After this, Mimi, Boy George, Shobu, and Hakuo make it to the Battle Arena tournament finals by winning difficult matches. Kentaro and Makoto Aizen secure their positions in the meanwhile as well, but the heroes have to get their passes from the absent Dr. Root. They pursue hints and strange doodles, and Mimi discovers hers in a duel dojo. She engages in a fight with the master to reclaim her pass, taking note of her errors and advancing to the finals. Boy George and Mimi then advance to the Battle Arena tournament finals after escaping the labyrinth. Shobu, Hakuo, Robbie Rotten, and another duelist, Ishiguro, are the other duelists to advance as well. Despite losing to Ishiguro, Hakuo is happy to have fought his idol. Shobu advances alongside Mimi, Boy George, and Hakuo after being defeated by Robbie in a tough match. The finals are secured for more duelists, including Kentaro and Makoto Aizen. The challenge the characters must overcome is getting their passes from the absent Dr. Root. They look for the strange sketches that they are given throughout the town. While dueling the master to get her pass back, Mimi discovers her clue at the duel dojo. Despite obstacles, she succeeds and advances to the finals. Mimi, Shobu, Boy George, and Hakuo then find their passes and continue the competition. Boy George discovers the meaning of his drawing, faces pressure, and loses to Master Yuki, but wins after developing his ability to handle pressure. Dr. Root then tricks them, leading to battles against robot versions of themselves. They overcome some early setbacks in the duels, and learn the strange decks and resurface. Shobu then defeats Makoto Aizen, Hakuo defeats Yuribana Toko, and the other duelists begin taking each other out one by by 1. Eventually, in the championship duel, Mimi, dressed as an angel, squares off against Kokujo, dubbed the Reaper of Darkness, in the final match. Mimi wants to impress Hakuo and rile up Kokujo. Despite her early difficulties, Mimi eventually defeats Kokujo thanks to her greater confidence, improved deck, and willpower. Kokujo, though, is declared the winner in the end. The next opponent is Kabutomaru Kuwagata, a member of an underprivileged community. With the aid of his family and a giant insect shield revival deck, Kabutomaru puts up a valiant battle. Shobu, though, pulls off a comeback and triumphs. Mikunu and Makoto are captured by Beniha, leading to a fight with Hakuo. And Kokujo and Yufua engage in a kaijudo match. Mimi and her friends then learn of the situation and attend Hakuo's battle. Hakuo announces a perfect duel, reveals a new appearance, and faces Beniha. Shobu battles Yufua in the championship match, and Yuma transforms into a duelist hunter but is defeated by Shobu. Finally, Zakira is revealed as the mastermind behind all the heinous ordeals throughout the series. In the final tournament, Shobu duels Bucketman under Zakira's influence. Mimi, Aizen, and Mikuno try to save the children in the meantime, but get captured. Hakuo's past is then revealed, and he can no longer duel. Shobu then obtains a map and prepares to go to Fua Castle. After some more shenanigans dealing with some filler duelists, Hendrix and Imelda capture Rakuta, leading Shobu to battle Imelda. With the help of his final Drag Armor Cross Gear and Bullbird Cross Dragon, Shobu defeats Imelda and saves Rakuta. Kabutomaro then delivers a message from Zerobo home, while Hendrix steals Bullbird Cross Dragon but escapes with Zerobo's assistance. Boy George, Mimi, and Shikua discover that Dr. Root left his phone at home but managed to retrieve it, and Hakuo competes in a double Kaijudo duel against Jason and Miss Kirumi. Despite facing difficulties and the Citadel crumbling, Hakuo emerges victorious. Shobu, Rakuta, and Zerobo travel back to Fua Castle, where a ceremony is held for Hakuo's initiation. Zakira's phantasmal clones pose challenges for Shobu's team. In a duel between Kokujo and Whittle, Hakuo defeats Kokujo, and then Hakuo collapses but is saved. Shobu then confronts Zakira, who reveals the fate of Shobu's father, and the battle intensifies, with Shobu receiving help from Yu and using his new Dual Shock Dragon. Zakira's Metal Chaos Dragon proves formidable. Eventually, Potman sacrifices himself, and Zakira emerges as the victor, gaining access to the Awakening card's abilities as the fortress takes flight. And honestly, that's how it ends. I can see why they decided to make a separate season, because season 1, Shobu got trashed and it ended in a cliffhanger, and now this original season 2, Dual Master Charge, Shobu gets rinsed again, and now we get cliffhanged into another series. To be honest, despite the fact that this was a hugely successful series in Japan, and it has like 13 different sequels, it didn't hit in North America, so I don't blame them. But anyways, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and slap the bell notification icon so you never miss another video. Until next time, peace.
Well, honestly speaking, I feel like I would put this in like a Duel Masters, maybe at like a 7. Because there's definitely a lot less shadow gamey shenanigans and death in this one. I mean, I'm sure there's more that's just not being seen in the other version, but definitely a lot less death this time around. But on to the next one. Alright, let's do it. Rewritten. Alright, here we go.
Imagine living for centuries, witnessing the rise and fall of civilizations, and grappling with the weight of eternity. Prepare to delve into the enchanting realm of Soso no Frieren, where the concept of immortality takes center stage in a tale of friendship, redemption,
Let's just move
that
past.
spans centuries. As she navigates the labyrinthine complexities of eternal life, Frieren grapples with the profound implications of her immortality. Through her eyes, viewers are transported into a realm where time flows erratically, where mortals flicker in and out of existence like fleeting shadows, and where the passage of centuries is but a fleeting moment in the vast tapestry of existence, painting a vivid portrait of the eternal struggle between mortality and immortality. Perils of immortality. While the allure of immortality may initially dazzle, Soso no Frieren delves deep into the somber shadows of eternity, uncovering the profound loneliness and isolation that accompany.
I don't know. Let's find a better one. Oh, that's the bridge. No, that's not what we're looking for. Let's see here. We'll watch one of these instead.
Time is a precious commodity that every one of us takes for granted. Time is something we never truly appreciate until it's already gone. Time is a really cheesy way to start off this video. I'm sorry. I know like 10% of you are on the toilet right now just looking for a way to pass time while you poop. And another 20% of you were probably having lunch when I said that line. Frieren is one of the most popular anime currently airing and is on most people's shortlist for one of the best shows that started airing last year. The story of a functional
Shucky could definitely use some lunch.
The time she didn't cherish with the people she was with and has to come to terms with what the passage of time means for her. And it's this emotional crux that almost every video I've seen talking about the show hones in on.
Even though someone like her possesses more time than any of us will ever come close to having, it can pass her by just as quickly if she's not careful about it.
Myself maybe included. But as the series has gone on and I've gotten to experience more of the story, past even what I had initially read in the manga, I really think this just scratches the surface of what Frieren has to offer and the tale it is evolving into. That alone would not have been enough to keep its throne as the top-rated anime of all time for so long. That alone would not have been enough to start its own cultural phenomenon here in Japan. That alone would not have taken one of the most poignant, emotional series to come out in years and had every single aspect of it looted by so many goddamn talented fan artists.
Jesus Christ, I thought this was meant to be an emotional show!
That was not a complaint. I don't think I fully did the series justice in the video I made 2 years ago, so I wanted to revisit Frieren, because now that the anime is coming to an end, I've seen it evolve from a series with a unique concept and a hard-hitting beginning to an all-around masterclass in the fantasy genre that seems to be doing just about everything. A proper old-school fantasy adventure, lessons that hit deep, emotional moments, romance, the bloody tuning exams. This show is doing it all, tying it all back to that one thing: time. Because it is time to talk about today's sponsor, X*, which is currently ranked one of the most purchased games in the Apple and Google Play Store in NA. My experience with the manga, it gave us an interesting perspective of how time moves through the eyes of a long life being and hit like a truck looking for its next isekai protagonist. But the big, humongous, Frieren burger-sized question mark was, where do we go from here? Having the story start at the end of another story is a cool idea, but how do you make that interesting in the long run? I've seen plenty of series that have presented this really cool concept, said what it needed to in the opening episodes, and then failed to capture the emotional peak we saw at the beginning, which caused me to make sweeping statements like, I don't think it's the best show of all time. No. I don't even think it's the best show of the year. I would argue that it might not even be the best show of the season. Now, long-term viewers of this channel will know that I am never wrong, except when I am absolutely wrong. So let's break down just how wrong I was. Frieren's opening was so strong that it had the Vinland Saga effect on me, where the prologue was so good in its own bubble, I forgot that was what it was meant to be. A prologue. A story that gives us the introductory baseline for the real oversized meat plate of the story to come. What the fuck is up with all these characters eating comically large portions of food? But the question remains, where do you take a story that takes place in a world where the main story has already ended? There's this one masterclass where Aaron Sorkin, the writer of A Few Good Men, Social Network, West Wing, talks about
intention and obstacle.
Characters need an intention, a goal they have to achieve that can't just be a small want, but a strong need. We need to defeat the Demon Lord or the world will end. I need to invent the nuclear bomb or the Soviets will do it first and the world will end. I need to find a girlfriend before the year ends or I won't have anyone to go to prom with. And the world will end. The stronger the need for this intention, the better. And to counteract that, you have the obstacle, the thing that prevents the character from achieving what they need to. And a possibly powerful final villain, a time limit to build something that's never been built before, a man that has infinitely negative riz. The harder that obstacle is to overcome, the more compelling that journey will be. Break down a lot of TV series and movies to its basic core components, and you'll probably see this framework in action. Watching Frieren made me realize that barely any of this applies to her journey. She has a vague intention, retracing her old steps to reach this mythical place that may or may not exist so she can say goodbye to her old party, but it's not something she needs to do. The world's not going to end if she doesn't, and she can still go about her life if she fails. There are some obstacles. A snowstorm that stops their travel for a month, a qualification she doesn't have in order to pass to a new area, but it's never something you think she can't overcome. And what that means is that instead of obstacles on the journey, you have stops. A lot of stops. It's not even a journey anymore, it's a fucking London bus route. If you've ever watched a show and felt like the pacing was off, or what you're watching feels like, for lack of a better term, filler, most of the time it's probably because the series has spent too much time on a detour that deals with a certain obstacle or something and not progressing towards that final intentional goal. But by omitting any goal that feels immediately urgent, Frieren makes it all about those detours. Some episodes can feel like they can take an hour, and some feel like they can take 5 minutes, and I mean this in the best of way because it always engages you in a different way. You never question whether you're spending too much or too little time in a certain place or a certain side story, and it allows you to just get fully absorbed in the moment. And it's in the moment that the show wants to keep you. This show is all about living in the present, appreciating the time as it is now instead of regretting the past or being blinded by the future. And what drives this message home so strongly is the characters. Frieren's whole spiel is that she's this long-living elf that doesn't really care about what's going on because whatever happens will have a minuscule effect on her overall life, but strip that all away and you just have a girl that is disconnected from the world around her. The way she acts is reminiscent to the character trope I probably despise the most in anime, the kudere. You've seen the ones, it's the characters that talk like this. Hello, what are feelings? These are confusing to me because I have the personality of wet cement. I'm sure there are a lot of you out there that relate in some way of having a calm personality that gets perceived as being stoic, but all too often, instead of feeling like a human, these characters feel like an android devoid of all emotions. Fuck, a lot of kuderes are literally androids devoid of all emotions. And as someone who's introverted and is perceived by a lot of my friends as someone who stays calm. Wait, so what? What? Most of the time, there is nothing I can attach to with these characters. The difference with Frieren is that she clearly has emotions. She gets happy, annoyed, sad, and regretful in her own way. She's not emotionless, she's just emotionally distant. moment, which makes absolute sense for the lifespan she has. It's not about her learning what emotions are and feeling things for the first time. It's about her learning why it's important to value those moments when you do, and being more mindful about the emotions that people around you have. And you don't need to be some immortal elf god to be able to relate to that. One of the early scenes that really hit me was when Frieren had a flashback of a party devastated they'd missed this sunrise, and she's like, why the hell do you all care? It's just a bloody sunrise. But then, decades later, she has the opportunity to experience that same sunrise with Fern, who miraculously somehow was able to drag her out of bed to see what all the hubbub was about. And then they do. And it's beautiful. And Frieren's still like, yeah, it's just a fucking sunrise, isn't it? But then she finds herself enjoying the experience. Not because she suddenly got some newfound appreciation of this sunrise, but because she got to share the moment with the people around her that do. And oh, god damn if this isn't so real. The amount of times I've gone and done something I never would have myself because I've had some mates fucking drag me out when I'd rather be doing nothing but staying inside playing some dumbass video games. And then it turns out that it's these moments that we still talk about and remember fondly when we hang out. Hey, remember that time when we decided to go camping and there was a thunderstorm and it was wet and everyone was fucking miserable, and then Russell ripped the fattest fucking fart of his life that overpowered the sound of the thunder, and I swear to god reverberated the entire bloody tent? That was some cool memory shit right there. But beyond Frieren, you also have Fern and Stark, two people who are not impossibly old like Frieren is, but still have their own troubles dealing with human emotions for the opposite reason. Because they're the fucking Zoomers of the world, or whatever that equivalent is. You can tell they lack emotional maturity in dealing with other people. Like, for example, instead of communicating her anger and frustrations in a healthy way, Fern just bottles it all up and leaves everyone else to figure out what's bothering her, which she expresses in the most adorable bloody pout face possible. Alright, I'm just saying, if I was there, I'd definitely make the situation 10 times worse, because I just want to look at her puffy little cheeks and go, is someone mad today? Yeah, maybe I'm even less mature than they are. But it's in that process of emotionally maturing that we get one of the best romance subplots I've seen in a very long time. I did not get into this type of show for any kind of romance, nor did I expect it to have one, as much as the fan art was telling me otherwise, and I just want to gush about it a bit. When I see romance in anime, especially if it's some kind of romance subplot in a wider story, I often feel like it was just an afterthought, and a lot of times can feel really clunky and inorganic. Characters will go about their business for like dozens of episodes with no indication there's any romantic feelings, sometimes having negative chemistry, for the series to suddenly sprinkle in this random scene that the girl realizes she has feelings for the protagonist, and it doesn't seem like that friendship kind of feeling, but the feeling she might just want him to canoodle that poodle, if you know what I'm saying. And I'm sitting there being like, alright, I guess it makes sense. It's reasons like this that a fan base can have debates and arguments on who they ship with who, what two people they want to end up together, because in reality, any of these couples could work, because the story has not done the groundwork to properly set any of them up.
They're all equally shit.
But Frieren manages to weave this blossoming relationship into its storyline that feels so natural. Right from the beginning, you can see that there are no mutual feelings. In fact, the two struggle with understanding each other while they are adventuring. But as they spend more time together, you can see them slowly but surely start to understand, accept their small quirks, get comfortable around the other person, and most importantly, actually have banter and some chemistry with one another. Like everything else it does, the series actually takes its time to lay the crumbs down and let you see their relationship develop, leading to this dance scene that had me screaming like a 15-year-old girl who's about to publish her first Wattpad fanfiction. Through nothing but pure visual storytelling and micro-expressions, you can see the exact moment Fern's view towards Stark shifts from a companion to a crush. The way her facial expression changes from nervousness to comfort to finally happiness. You don't need 2 pages of internal dialogue to spell out exactly what she was feeling. This is the kind of shit you normally only get to see conveyed in a live-action film with real actors, and it's executed so goddamn beautifully. No matter what Frieren tries, this show just does not seem to miss. Did I mention how hard this series goes in its action?
This is a series that doesn't even need good action.
Right now, we're going through a bloody tune-in exam arc, and when that got introduced, I was like, huh. Is that the right vibe to go for here? And yet, even in this action-intensive arc, it never feels like it forgets its identity. Even with all these new characters being added, it feels like they all have something distinctive to say that ties back to the learning experience our party is going through. There is so much more I could talk about. The world building, the magic system, Evan Cole's godly soundtrack, the absolute coldest moment we got to see last year. But what I want to end this on is Himmel, who is aptly named, because he is just him. Even though his character essentially only exists in flashbacks outside of the beginning, you can feel his influence in every action that Frieren takes, every lesson she learns, every time she grows as a character. And I think what makes him such a great character is that he just feels like a dude. Himmel epitomizes what a true hero should be. Not because he saved the world or defeated the Demon Lord, he's just a guy who tries his best to leave a positive influence wherever he goes. He's the friend we all want, the role model we want to be. He's charming, he's charismatic. He is the embodiment of everything the story tries to remind you of. I don't think it's a coincidence. This story has hit so hard for so many of us and become the mega hit that it has. This came out in a time when I don't think we've ever been more connected, yet distant to the people around us. We're so overstimulated day to day, constantly being barraged with informations and things you should care about. It sometimes feels like you don't want to care about anything, or at least you're exhausted about doing so. So seeing someone as emotionally distant as Frieren learning to appreciate and understand the people around her is such a powerful reminder of what we should be valuing in our own lives. Frieren doesn't preach anything we don't already know. It's about the journey, not the destination. You shouldn't take for granted the time you're given. We've heard these so many times in our lives that they can turn into cliches in our heads and forget how true and valuable these lessons are. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you very much this month too. Author Curtis Eckstein, Basil, Dysfunctional Degenerates, Flabberwocky, Jonah Thick, Mike.
Glorious, glorious. Okay, well, friends, people, I'm afraid that's going to be it for Shucky's little adventure across vacationing worlds. Rerun, I would definitely put in the 10 out of 10 vacation spots. Because it's a beautiful place to visit, and there's not... And the main thread is gone now. But, before Shucky heads off into the vacuum of space again, I would like to thank you all for allowing me to have this nice little vacation. It means a lot. So thank you for allowing me to have a nice bit of rest. I appreciate you, and I will see you all next time. Now, if you excuse me, Shucky has a shiatsu massage to get to, so I will see you later. Bye-bye. Alright, there we go. Hi, folks. How you doing? Okay. That was an informative time. So, I hope that you all enjoyed this little project as much as Shucky would have. Again, this was an idea supported by you guys, and I'm always nervous about how these ideas will go, so thank you guys for being here and at least enjoying the shenanigans. It just means a lot that you guys are here. I'll probably do a short little stream tonight. I'm not sure. As for the guild, I'll probably send them some guild members a message, see if, ooh, wait a minute. Oh, man. I forgot. Let's see. Well, I could try and do... Let me see. It looks like they're setting up plans for the next raid train for the cookout. But I don't know if I can participate in this one, because I'll be gone that weekend. We'll think of something. We'll think of something. I'll check this out later. But yeah, I'll look at this a little bit later. Seriously though, I love you guys, so thank you all for being here. It means a lot. I'm gonna head out, so you lovely people take care. No raid today. I don't really have a suggestion on hand, but I'll see you all a little later. So till next time, have a nice. Love you. Take care.